see the world. Aren't we all insistent to be small? Subdivide. I'll show you how it's done. There's no sight we go inside. The man, he is the one. You build your walls with faith in God. They never come around. Then wonder why we all divide.
At the highest level of play, there can be no compromises. Gamers demand the highest clock speeds to give them the FPS they need to perform. Rise to the moment. Intel Core i7, the official CPU of ESL 1. Intel, unleash your brilliance.
Have reported mysterious shadow sightings all around the city. According to experts, the origin of these shadows is
It's game fuel. It's domination in a can. Aw, tastes like loser tears.
New Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
ESL 1 Hamburg is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, DHL, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, Asus Republic of Gamers, Pay Safeguard, and Euronics.
Hello and welcome back to ESL 1 Hamburg, where we are now done with the group stages. It has been a thrilling rise with ups, downs, loop-the-loops and rolls and everything else going on. My name is Nomad, and joining me on the panel is the lovely Lizard and the okay Killer Pigeon.
Okay.
I was trying to find something to rhyme with alliterate with Killer Pigeon, and nothing really came to mind. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that one.
All right.
Honestly, there's an improvement, though, because I think Gareth has been dribbling here, so...
He does that. You don't see it off camera. Lizard has to come and, wipe his mouth and, help him out.
Yeah, I do that. Whatever that's how I get these jobs, man.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
All right, so, gentlemen, I want you to take us through the games you were having on your stream, because I understand you had a couple of upsets.
Oh, we did. See, everyone, they were like TNC. They're gods. They're amazing. We know they're amazing. But the question was, could they finish the group stage without losing a single game? And they came close. But they were upset by a team who I believe are eliminated now. Wind and Rain, despite their best efforts, don't get to go to the main event. But they did crush TNC's winning streak.
Yeah, it's actually Wind and Rain winning for the first time versus TNC. That is anyone on this tournament winning against TNC. And it was a surprising game, but they just drafted their full comfort zone and they won.
Yeah, the Super Giants can bleed. And kind of feels like a David and Goliath story, so we're very sad to see Wind and Rain go. Meanwhile, over on this stream, we had the upset of Quincy Crew taking down Team Liquid. And again, we can actually have a look at the brackets and how everything's standing right now between the two groups after the group stage. This is the finalized groups, everything tied off, and this is what things are looking like right now. Of course, the top two from each of these groups is going through to the upper brackets. Then the next three are going through to the lower brackets, and then the bottom one from each group is getting eliminated, and that is Viking and Team Liquid.
Very unfortunate. Maybe Vikings, they didn't really expect a lot out of this tournament. They're a fresh stack. They did look strong in a couple of games that we have casted together, right, KP?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these guys, look, they made some changes just before they got to this event. I believe Chappie, he announced his retirement, so they had to shift someone new in. So I don't think they really had high expectations. It's one of those teams that say, if we get 5th or 6th, we're feeling good. You know how when a team goes, I'd be happy with top 4. They realistically understand they are nowhere near the favorites in that one. Whereas when you ask teams like secret events, hell yeah, we're going to get first place. Same with TNC here. They'll be like, hell yeah, we can take first place. They're not going to settle for 4th.
So who do you guys have predicting? We've seen the group stages. Every team has played a bunch of games. Out of all of them you've seen, who do you think is going to take it all? Lizard.
It's a really difficult question, but I really think, and KP, he's seen me heard me say this so many times before. Yeah. I believe it will be TNC. They are just looking so strong right now, and they improvise. That's what's most important. For us that haven't watched all of their series in that first day, because me and Killer Pigeon, we were covering some other series. We got quite surprised by some of their strategies and their ability to execute them to perfection.
I think just about everybody does. You even look through their drafts and you're like, what the hell are these guys doing? Carrying Night Stalkers, spamming out the Chen whenever they can. All sorts of stuff going on with TNC, but it is absolutely working. Killer Pigeon. You can't choose TNC again. Choose someone else.
I mean, why do I need to? There's someone else in this. I mean, they might make an appearance soon. It's Vici Gaming for me. I think TNC are the easiest choice, and in a good way. They are looking hot. But we do see this a lot, right? You have the group stage, one team ruffle stomps it, and usually there's kind of a switch up. You get found out. I love the fact that TNC is the only team we're really seeing exploit the Chen at the moment, which I think is a ridiculously strong hero. But I think Vici Gaming, what I love from them is their pace and also the performances that Zhao Yu has been placing on heroes like Clockwork and Earthshaker. He's the player to watch. Ori will perform, DY and Fate, but then you look at Zhao Yu, there are some question marks for some people, but I know the Chinese fanboys, they were right. He's hot. He's looking on that offlane like one of the standouts of this tournament.
All right, well, for me, I'm going to throw in the curveball because you guys have taken the top two. I want to choose Gambit. I think this team has the most potential out of any team. For me, I'm really looking forward to seeing these guys perform. I know the Alliance is the logical next choice for most people, but I really think that people are going to be surprised at what Gambit can pull together. We know F&G is an amazing captain. We've seen Gambit pull off some really incredible wins. I think they've still got a lot of strategies up their sleeve. I'm super excited to watch them perform. And now I actually said on this panel on the very first day, they're either going to come top or they're going to either come up a bracket or they're going to get eliminated. And there's going to be nothing in between. Now, TNC did beat them into their top in their group. Yeah, that's correct. However, I still think they could go all the way, and I think they're going to find their momentum in the playoffs. A bold prediction, but one I'm comfortable to sit behind. But now I'd like to talk to about the losers as well. Very sad, but it must be done. Liquid, the biggest upset, I would say. They have been eliminated in the group stages. Nobody saw this one coming, but X-Alliance, they are out.
Yeah, it's looking really rough for Insania and the boys, doesn't it? They had the most potential, I would say, for this new season. They still have a lot of potential as they're a lineup that have been together for 2 years now, maybe even more. And maybe it's Loda that they're missing right now. But for real, he played such a crucial part in that lineup. He was their coach and he was always around. And now they're missing him. I'm not taking anything away from you, Blitz. I love you, baby. Blitz is like my hero, you know? But then again, there's something missing right now in this lineup.
No, I totally agree. And, we know that Blitz had a bit of a hands-off approach at Dream League, and we know that he's having a hands-off approach here as well, as he is casting instead of coaching, and this team feel a little bit lost in the water. Maybe their coach is part of it. Daddy Loda went to get cigarettes, never came home. Pigeon, let's talk us through the story of Viking. Did you get to cover much of their games on your stream?
Yeah, we got some of their games. And Viking, in the qualifier, they looked pretty competent. They had some good aggression. The EU/CIS mix of qualifier for ESL was a bit of a bloodbath, a little hectic. I think there is some potential with this team. You've got those kind of old flavors from a few years ago, right? When we look at their picks, they're the type of team that runs puck off lane. Mm-hmm. And there's this kind of shift right now in the meta where you need to hit that 20-25 minute mark, and it seems that Viking are playing this kind of more traditional split the map and look for the 30-40 minute mark finish. So I hope they stay together. There's some potential there. As I said, coming in this, Chappie retired. You had to replace him last second, so expectations definitely weren't high for Viking. And while they'll be upset by this result, I hope they stick together and at least see it out to the next qualifier.
Yeah, I believe Rajex was supposed to be playing for them as well,
yes.
Wasn't he? And he also, unfortunately, due to visa issues, couldn't turn up. So, Cube also standed in. But Cube, standout performance. I'd be very surprised if he didn't get picked up by someone, if there's any shuffles coming out, maybe after the next DPC round. I really do think that Cube has done enough in these group stages to draw some attention to himself. And I'm really hoping that he finds himself in a good team. Now, 2 more teams have been eliminated. Quincy Crew is another one of them, despite pulling off a really dramatic win versus Team Liquid. But they'll both be going down together.
We do best case scenario, isn't it? It's like, if I'm going to go down, you're coming with me, okay? You grab him by the legs as you fall. Yeah, descending down. We do have a bracket now to have a look at so we can see everything that has happened here. So, Vici Gambit, of course, happening on this stream a little bit later on. TNC versus Alliance going to be happening over on the main stream. Meanwhile, in the lower bracket, we've got Beast Coast versus Wind and Rain and NIP versus Virtus Pro. And that will all be happening tomorrow. What's your most exciting game here?
We have some pretty hype games. I believe Vici Gaming versus Gambit is the obvious one, which we will watch later. It will be a really strong showing. We have seen a really strong showing from Vici Gaming throughout the day, and Gambit have been on point with their plays too with F&G. However, I'm looking forward to tomorrow and TNC versus Alliance. That's hype right there, man. That's the game to watch for. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe TNC Alliance is actually going to be happening on the mainstream today.
Actually on
at the same time. Yeah. Beast Coast, another team I think we need to talk about here. They went 0-4 on the first day and then managed to pull it back and now managed to find themselves qualifying and getting through to that playoff, even if they are in the lower bracket against Wind and Rain. And Wind and Rain, of course. These guys, no one expected anything from them. Everybody put them bottom. I mean, most people put them bottom.
Oh, at your own peril. Okay, these guys, we just said these guys, they ruined the TNC win streak. I think that is going to be one of the most interesting matches we're going to have seen so far because these two teams are ultra aggressive, right? We've seen the way at Wind and Rain like to move out that laning phase. They have what some people used to call cheese picks, like Huskar, right? But it's not. You actually have to have a justifiable draft to make it work now. And then on the other side, like Beast Coast, these guys just got picked up. I believe it was Hamburgesser, they were called before. And if there's anything that you know about SA, it's that once again, it's a region that is renowned for playing this early, super aggressive Dota.
You know who had an SA player in their lineup? Demon Slayers. They also lost all their games in the first day of Dream League, and then they won every single one up to Grand Finals. So maybe we'll see something similar from Beast Coast.
Maybe Beast Coast will pull it out. And of course, the other lower bracket matchup we do have is going to be NIP versus Virtus Pro. Virtus Pro obviously looking very shaky right now. A lot of questions being raised about the viability of this roster and whether they're going to keep it going, but they have secured themselves a spot in the playoffs. Maybe these guys can play their hearts out and earn their spot on this team, but for Save and
Powered by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, DHL, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, Asus Republic of Gamers, Pay Safeguard, and Euronics. Vodafone presents the pre-match.
Indeed, welcome back to Germany for live coverage of ESL 1 Hamburg 2019, powered by Intel. We have completed our group stage. We're about to embark on the journey through the brackets of the upper and lower. And we start today with an upper bracket semi-final match. It's a slightly different one than we billed earlier, but yeah, not going to be disappointed because it's TNC versus Alliance going head-to-head in around about 15 minutes or so. So we'll preview that match, but we'll also talk a little higher level and talk about 2019 Dota, maybe look ahead to 2020. Alongside me, two men that have talked plenty about Dota, and I know they've got plenty in the tank left to talk about it as well. It's Nahaz and Purge alongside. Gents, let's start with 2019. What kind of year has it been for Dota?
I mean, I think there's obviously the one storyline of OG at TI looms over everything else. You had the greatest Cinderella story to me in esports, and the first time back-to-back TI winners. You know, they made history well outside of Dota with that kind of a run. Otherwise, though, things have been rather top-heavy, and that's going into this next season. One of my big questions is it going to feel so top-heavy? We started to discuss this on panel the other night, Purge.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I am slightly worried about as Dota is hitting. It's like been an esport for quite a while, and it's great and all that there's consistency, that teams can get those W's consistently, and I kind of ignore OG when I make this point, but I want to see more like team variety winner stuff, like and I don't know if the best way to do it is by eradicating double elimination brackets sometimes to get some of those upsets, which we saw at Boston Major, for example. It's one of the reasons Adfinum got second place, which was a great storyline. I'd like to see that a little bit more. And I'm also happy Valve adjusted the DPC system a little bit. There's higher earning potential for the lower placing teams. They make more money than they did before, which I think is good for the health of the scene. But I'd still like to see a little bit more money come down as well. So maybe do that with more prize pools going to lower teams, maybe more single limb or better chances of teams going farther, because there's just those stable guys at the top. They're too damn stable.
Yeah, they're almost too good, don't they?
Well, it's like you're not secret VP.
Has it changed this year, this season though? Has that changed now, or the potential to change because of all the roster shuffles? Or
there
not?
hasn't been a minor or a major yet, Paul. It's a hard question.
Sure, but that's why I'm saying. Do you think it might change this year?
Well, it's going to be great after the first major minor because none of those other teams are playing. So,
but you asked the question. I do think there's a possibility. What we've seen in the last 9 months or so of Dota in 2019 is you've seen these teams like Gambit who really have looked very convincing, and they've gotten that consistency against the other teams in the region. But then, like, think back to Katowice, for example. You see them against everybody else, and you say, man, this is a pretty good team. And then they play Secret. And it's just clear from the get-go, from the sound of the horn, that Secret is just a tier above. And what we're seeing in this tournament, that's partly why I find these early season tournament storylines so compelling, even without a new patch, is that you're seeing these teams find themselves and you're seeing them adapt within a very mature meta to the strengths of their players. I think some of these teams, like Alliance, if they get some basic issues figured out, they're going to be able to take some games off the big dogs. But again, everything changes. Those majors are so long. You have to be able to adapt your strats. You have to be able to change a lot on the fly. And that's where I think the test of time and veteran leadership really tells.
And you got to retain your confidence too, I think is a big thing, because even like there's so many matches too. There's scrims, and then there's group stages, and then there's playoff stuff. And some of those big dogs with more money in the bank, with more history of winning those tournaments, it's probably just less stressful as a whole, especially right now when some of those big dogs have been winning enough for long enough that they just probably, I would imagine, just have less pressure, knowing that they're pretty secure. It's like they might flop a little bit, but in the long term, they're going to be fine.
I don't know if it's less. It's just you've got these guys. There's a hell of a difference going into the final couple days of a major, knowing you got Kuro or knowing you got Puppy. I'm still convinced that a big reason for Puppy's success over such a long period of time, he's a lightning rod, man. He's like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna push some of these out there drafts. I'm gonna pick some of these non-meta heroes, and if we lose, it's on me. And his other 4 guys, they just get to play Dota, and they get to get better at the game. And that's a big part of why I think he's been so successful over a long period of time developing younger players.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you think that applies to Liquid and OG in many respects as well, in terms of Seb in OG, particularly in No-Tail as well? They have 2 very experienced players, and Kuro in what was the old Liquid.
I wouldn't define it the exact same way, but I definitely got OG vibes when you're explaining that point, just because it's basically letting your players play pubs is the easiest way to describe it. It's not necessarily doing wacky drafts, putting all the onus on the captain, say, oh, if they mess up, it's him. It's that you're also giving them comfortable heroes that they excel at in pubs to play in a pro game. Like they were playing Zeus mid, they were playing tons of Monkey King, picking tops in those weird heroes that aren't necessarily top tier, but he's super comfortable with, and it allows him to just get in his comfort zone, lower the stress level, and play their game while also having good teamwork and those other good things that help you win Dota games. So yeah, they're very similar points.
100%.
I will give you one thing that Seb said to me, not this year, funnily enough, but last year. Sometimes you need to give your players permissions to make mistakes.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, just to feel okay about it.
I can find you 100 different books on management that will have variations of that phrase. It's just true in so many different fields. And I was thinking as Purge was giving that great explanation, you know, if you put Thompson or if you put Ana in different team environments, do they look like these same truly transcendent players? I don't know the answer to that question. It really is the team environment. And that's why these guys like Puppy, like Peter, like Seb are just so valuable in the long run in Dota. That's big question, right? Something I think a lot of people aren't thinking about right now is where is this next generation of leadership going to come in Chinese Dota?
Yeah.
Because
through a transition,
ROTK and Jowett have moved on to coaches, but it's not quite the same.
Yeah. When's those next ones coming through?
What do you mean it's not the same though? Because I feel like...
Well, ROTK is different, isn't he? Because he's dominating the team still. He's the one sitting in the drafted chair. He's still drafting. He's got like I'm told he rules the team with an iron fist. He's like, no, you will not do this.
My point is other Chinese teams can do that. The Chinese organizations are a lot more top-down controlling in that they have bigger prize. They have like more funding. They have more structure. They have team houses that the teams are in. What's to say that you can't just take some Chinese player that is maybe a little bit washed up, similar to how ROTK was at the time, not as much success, throw them into one of those team environments. And then you, again, are the oldest player on the team. You have more experience. Why can't they repeat that success? I would argue better than Western organizations, and because there isn't as much top-down control.
I think that's I think that's an empirical question where I think we're going to see that very empirical question answered over the next 1 to 2 years in Pro Dota, because I don't necessarily see the next generation of great Chinese captains out there. And I think the question is going to be answered, how much can you replace the in-game captain, the truly transcendent in-game leader, with that organizational infrastructure and the great coaching? That's a very open question to me in Dota.
They'll be good in drafts, but in-game, unsure.
And that's the point I was going to make, actually, was that Blitz said earlier on, it's in the Heen case, right? He couldn't get in a game. At least now, actually, they've got a player who can do what Heen kind of did for them, but they've got a player in game like in March that can do that for them now.
It probably helps a lot, for sure. Yeah, it's very easy to like watch players and criticize, but once you're in the game, there's a lot more to think about. It's difficult to take a step back and realize what's going on and direct your team to do the correct things. So, yeah, I don't know if that'll ever happen. If there will be some kind of in-game coaching thing like there was in CS:GO for a brief moment, but.
I'm intrigued by that.
Someday.
I agree. I think China is a fascinating region as it is. One more topic before we move on. We have to move on relatively quickly because we're going to get into the upper bracket semi-final in just a moment. So 30 seconds each on, is the DPC better because it stayed the same, or would you have liked to have seen changes?
Why don't I go first before you yell? Okay. I think it's.
You knew, didn't you? You knew that the question was
I've seen your statements before about it, and I know that he's not. He's at least slightly negative. I'm slightly negative. I do like that the prize distribution spread a little bit. I think the minor major system seems okay. I guess my major concern is still around money spreading down. I'm worried that Valve is doing we got to have the biggest esport tournament of the year because it's important, and they're hurting the scene in a huge way as a result because those 12 to 17th, 18th place teams are not getting that much money, and the th to 30th teams are getting nothing if they don't qualify. So that's what I'm about right now, because it's going to add volatility to team roster swaps. That was more than 30, my bad.
Guy, and 75% of that is pocketed by the top few teams. And I don't think that's the best resource distribution.
They've played fantastically well already. We've waxed lyrical about how good TNC Predator have been. The runners-up spot in Group A, as we said, Vici Gaming Gambit was the original game. However, that one, which way this goes?
Look, if you go by the results so far at this tournament, the level of play that these teams have showed, these are two of the top three teams, Vici being the other one. It's not particularly close in my assessment, although I still like my dark horse Beast Code.
Need to play that.
TNC has been amazingly strategically sound. Gabby has been special this tournament. That's one of the things that I was looking at TNC at the tail end of last year. Can Gabby get to that same level that Raven showed throughout his years at TNC? I don't know that he ever fully got there for me, but this tournament, he's sure looking like it.
All right, well, we're going to get more from both of you in just a moment. March, the man in the middle of the chair, but it was Tim's that caught up with Sir Action Slacks earlier on in pre-match mode.
Hey guys, I am here with Tim's for the pre-match interview for TNC. How you doing, boss?
Doing good.
All right, all right. Of course you're doing good. Upper bracket, best of three, the first best of three yet. Do you like best of threes instead of best of twos?
I don't care, actually. It's fine.
You don't care? Is that because you're so good that nothing phases you?
It's just Dota, bro.
Now, I talked to your opponents here before this match, and I asked them how confident they were that they could defeat you in 1 out of 10. They said 20. How do you feel about that?
Okay. Maybe let's see in the match.
Oh, damn. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you guys that you're going to be pulling out ahead of Alliance?
Maybe just 6.
6? The rest of the team is they seem to be laughing, sir. 6 is the best you got? That's almost a flip of the coin.
Yep, we're just going to play. No overconfident. Yep.
All right. Humble, focused, and not overconfident. That's winner talk to me, Tims. Thank you very much. Get back to your chair and have a great series. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Jake. Yes, Tim's there, who's in the top 3, or was in the top 3 yesterday for the Mercedes-Benz MVP. Certainly had a great tournament so far. I'm sure it's going to continue.
He's a stud. The guy is in the top 4 all-time average assists per game in pro play. You give him a hero with Earth in the name, and you watch him ruin the other team's game.
It's very true, actually. I hadn't thought about it like that. He has been impressive, but his teammates around him have also been impressive. Everything that we've seen so far from them would suggest that they might just be the favourites now.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's why this matchup is so exciting, is because both teams have very similar characteristics. They're all like former best players on their previous teams with slight adjustments. So it's like there's that excitement of seeing the same thing that we saw before, but it's a little different. And now they have to play against each other, and we're going to see which one's truly the best.
Yeah, it's a clash of styles too. Alliance's style here has been very good to watch as well.
They've been very good, but again, the looming question remains. You know, Kyle suggested it on the panel the other night, and it's a storyline we've been pushing. You know, can Alliance win when Nico Baby is not their be-all, end-all GG win condition? You know, I think you saw the recipe earlier today. You attack Alliance's side lanes, and all of a sudden, they don't necessarily look like that same dominant team, and I think TNC are very well equipped to do that.
Yeah, Alan, you picked up on earlier the fact that Limp and 33 could be the crutches that they need. Both of them are going to have to step up. Limp was actually with Sir Action Slacks a little earlier on in terms of the pre-match. So let's find out what he makes of the match ahead.
Hey, thanks, guys. I am here with Limp from Team Alliance. You are in the upper bracket. Game 1. This is our first best of 3 against TNC. How you feeling going in, dog?
Very confident.
Very confident. What a strong boy. I believe that. You guys won that last tournament. You seem to have no problems at all in this group stage. Everybody is bowing down to you. But come on, if anyone's going to give you a challenge, it's TNC, right?
I mean, we'll see. Hopefully.
Oh, damn. This is the spiciest interview I've ever had. Sir, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you guys going to win this game? And no one will make fun of you if you lose.
How much are we going to win this game?
Yeah, 1 to 10.
Like,
are you going to destroy...
20?
Damn. All right. This is fire. Okay. I'm just going to let you get into that game. I don't have any other questions. I can't pierce this, man. He's full confidence, boys. Back to you.
Plenty of confidence from Limp, as I said before we had the interview. Alan, you pointed out that he's one of those players, isn't he? He has got some signature heroes, and if they get him in, they can rely on him as well. It doesn't always have to be about Nico.
And he is. Look, this guy is. I continue to believe as good a technical laner about as you're going to find in the game. I mean, he is close to that Sumail level. But again, it's the mid game decision making, it's the late game positioning in fights that separate him from being a really awesome technical player to being a true top 5 mid. I still think he has what it takes to make that leap. But real quickly, Hanskin has played outstanding this tournament. The top 4 assists per game so far in this tournament are 3 through 5 from Vici, and Hanskin is number 1. And I think he has made a huge difference in terms of his early game roaming for this team.
He's certainly stepped up as well, hasn't he? I don't remember him having the big games last season.
That's always kind of been the knock on Simon, going back all the way back to when I worked with him on Complexities. He's a solid support, but he's rarely one of those guys that you feel like he takes over a game. And that's why I've been so excited to see his performances in the last 2 events.
He's also playing, he used to play consistently 5, now he's playing a 4, so he's got more space, got more items to do things with. You're supposed to be rotating and moving, so. The Earthshaker Morphling was not going to be in the game.
No, but the Beast Chen opener is.
And this is, again, signaling that TNC has watched the tape on Alliance and said, we know how we want to beat you. We're going to attack the side lanes. We're going to apply constant map pressure.
Again, by the way, from KP. That's the second time I've seen him do that in 2 days.
And it's actually nice to have these against a Void, because Void is a little bit slow, even though his laning is pretty hard to beat. He's not going to be able to defend his tower very well. So if you take the fight to the enemy side of the map, it's going to be a little bit harder for him to slow that down. Jakiro is good at slowing down pushes, though. You hit 6, the wave is dead. Dual Breath is fantastic. Lowering attack speed helps offset what Beastmaster does. But you could argue that goes both ways, that Beastmaster or counters Jakiro Dual Breath.
Jakiro fast becoming a signature hero for Alliance. I think they have about half the Jakiro picks in the tournament so far. Obviously,
they're
with the
becoming my favorite team.
Oh, that's all it takes, right, Paul?
Of course. Yeah. Pick Jakiro more than 5 times in a year, and that's it. I'm all yours, baby.
But again, when you talk about slowing Void down in lane, we talked about it with the Puck the other day, about how you get these powerful right-click range harass heroes, and he doesn't get that really big value out of time. I think a Beastmaster Chen combination can work the same way. Beastmaster is going to play in your face. He's got a good attack animation, good base damage. Chen's going to be applying constant pressure to those lanes. Can also function as a safe lane lockdown if you need it later in the draft.
I miss when Beastmaster could throw axes all the time. That was a good patch.
Oh, yeah.
I used to really like playing Beastmaster.
Sumail, right at the beginning when Sumail switched to offlane, and he would just play Beastmaster every game, and he would just stand under your tier 1 tower and axe you.
It was very fun. You just
hilarious.
fight constantly, throw axes, farm creep waves into small camp. Oh, good times. Now you just spawn your boar and attack people slowly.
I am
whirling axes, bring them back.
I am curious when we are going to see a phase 1 Naga counter in this tournament to the Void, because every team so far that I've seen pick Void first phase, their 4th ban is Naga. And nobody that I've seen so far, the matches in the mainstream, has gone ahead and picked up that Naga first phase.
I think there was the one versus Quincy Crew, I believe, or some other.
TNC
played it twice. It played it at least once, but that was the 7th pick overall Naga.
I remember they used it with like Song to do disruptor ultis and setups like that to counter him. It was really effective, actually. No, it was against Morphling, actually. Excuse me. That's one.
That's really the game they beat the Morph Earthshaker last night.
It was the Morph Shaker.
That was
reverse. We can beat with what we've just beaten you with game.
Yeah, that was a really good showing for Naga.
It was. Yeah, because initially I thought that was going to be a KP Naga, and it ended up being a Gabby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Naga.
a Gabby Safeline Naga.
Yep.
It's definitely getting more uncommon for players to massively swap roles, and I honestly feel like it's only gonna be more consistent now with ranked roles, with role swaps, role selections. It's like lanes are static now. Like you play the role that you signed up for. Every game you go to the safe lane if you're 5. Every game you go to the off lane if you're 4. Unless you get into high level games where they're like, okay, the core matchups are really bad. We got to try lane aggressively and swap mid to safe lane. It's like a rare thing. I feel like
last
time
season
goes on.
You're right. Last season those 3-4 roles were very interchangeable. Saw a lot of that.
It depended a lot on the team.
It does depend on who was in the team. And Zai,
for a team like Secret comes to mind, right?
It was often the case that they would do something like that, and Secret as well were one of the other teams that would swap it around.
Now, I think the big circumstance under which you're going to continue, and you always will see lane swaps, is as you see 33's Legion Commander, which he had played 6 out of 8 games going into that last series, get banned out. Here's second phase. You're going to see the cheese picks, right? The Meepo mids, the Brood mid. When your offlaner happens to be your Meepo or Brood player, that's when you can see the lanes get shopped. This Night Stalker ban, by the way, Gabby has had 2 wins on Night Stalker, 27 kills and 1 death in those 2 games. The first one, 670 GPM, was the 6th highest ever out of over 3,000 pro games on the hero.
With that said, though, it's a lot easier to get GPM on Night Stalker with that.
Very true.
But I'm sure
Very
27 and 1 out of 2 games, yeah, that's pretty epic performance. So.
Bannable.
It is sometimes. It's a little bit scary, especially when you have a push lineup like this. You're gonna have vision from basically what Night Stalker does is you go to a tower that you want to kill, you turn your ulti on, and you can see everyone. And now it's like, okay, we can make perfect decisions. We see where they're hiding in the trees. You all run at them, you kill the guy, and once they're dead, you take the tower. So it's like if you have the push of a Beastmaster and a Chen, and you pair that with somebody that can give you perfect vision and team play around a tower, that's going to be a scary thing if they start snowballing.
So both teams really having studied the opponent here. The Abaddon pick obviously also targeted toward 33. That does mean, however, there's some really meta heroes still left to pull. The Leshrac is still there. The Mirana is still there for Alliance if they want it.
Yeah.
There's the Lesh for TNC, and I think this could very well be a Potom for Alliance.
The Omni's still available as well.
Yeah.
And with the Lesh, now they have another way to kill towers. Very, very good at killing towers. So Alliance has got to be getting kind of scared here about this. They're looking for 4 heroes. Yeah, Lina is recommended. Pretty good pick as a 4 that can splash waves. Slow
Flex
things
value
down.
as well, because his limp mid on Lina is very, very good.
That's true. Can lane pretty good against Leshrac as well.
The funny thing is they usually do pick it in this 3rd position as well. When
it's just maximizing the draft value of that hero.
The flex value, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's again, I think Alliance. Well, I thought they might go there for. I thought they might keep it a little bit more open, but you pretty much know this is 1-5-4 here in your first 3 picks.
And that's the other amazing hero for counter pushing, because not only are you nuking everything, but you're also lowering their damage output. So even though they attack fast, it doesn't matter. If you pair that with something like a Crimson Guard, the Fade Bolt that is, then the amount of damage you're taking is really low, even if they're attacking quickly.
Also a decent deny pick. TNC still could have fit that into the lineup with their number 4 position, and you saw what difference Vampire was able to make against that Skitter Rubik in the last series.
And it's super good against Jakiro too. It's the hero with the highest pub win rate against Jakiro.
Instant Ice Path, right?
Yep, the Ice Path.
I hate getting Ice Path back, by the way.
With extra duration.
God damn.
Like it's not just the same spell anymore. Now it's like, oh, it's a 3.25 second stun.
It's better than the one that you've just cast on him.
Yes.
I wish all of you watching at home could have seen the expression on Paul's face 5 seconds ago, talking about getting return Ice Path, because you're a Dota player, man. That expression of just abject. Damn it!
Yeah. He's a better Jakiro. That's the problem. Right? Like he's a better Omni.
It's the perfect joke to throw somebody's spell back at them. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
And make it longer
Rubik.
or worse. Yeah, Enigma as well into Rubik.
That is some confidence from TNC.
It's a little weird. They can break trees when diving towers. Chronosphere is obviously fantastic at guaranteeing void kills. Like once he gets BKB right now, as long as he doesn't get Chronosphere, of course, he should be able to kill somebody. And that's pretty important, because if they can catch void and they have good vision with Beastmaster, and they can do roar and black hole follow up guaranteed, that's a dead void. That should be a 1-team fight.
But then Rubik steals that black hole, and then they've got Chrono, they've got black hole, and then
Paul, I just said everything I just said was Void dies. So yes, it doesn't matter as much. Assuming he doesn't have buyback, he can't TP. It is. It's also good for pushing. You've got summons with the aura. Like on paper, TNC's lineup, all 4 of those heroes are excellent at pushing. So. And
that's more the thing.
And it's KP's Enigma.
Absolutely.
Guy's always been a good Enigma player.
They are the most confident Enigma team at the tournament. They first phased it the other night against NIP. Big difference there was Rubik was off the board, but they did run it with a Chen and an Abaddon, kind of similar in style here. This is TNC saying we're going to play on your side of the map. How are you going to make us leave?
Well, Alliance did it by picking a Magnus, which is a BKB piercing stun with reverse polarity. So he could potentially, I think the range should be good enough that he can interrupt a BKB black hole from Enigma.
Well, this is also the thing about the Magnus is it's also a little bit of insurance for that Faceless Void. If Nico is going to get pressured in lane, he is going to have that Empower to fall back on, not necessarily because I expect TNC to go very aggressive in the laning phase here.
That's a good point, yeah. He can push out other lanes more aggressively even if he doesn't have his Maelstrom yet. He can kill a lot more summons just by Chronosphering jungle quicker. Yeah, it'll be a really nice advantage to have. Curious to see how, very curious what the itemization is going to be this game.
Nice TA ban there. That's an Armel special, and it's one of those heroes that TNC will frequently use to just bring the draft together.
And it helps push as well. Minus armor, it's going to facilitate everybody else dealing more damage. Would have been good. It's always good to have one conventional pick that isn't a push hero, that is good at killing, for example. Be the good follow-up to the stuns.
So do you think TNC are lacking damage here, though?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's basically just Leshrac right now. He's the only one. They've got right clicks and stuff from summons, but yeah, it's basically just Leshrac right now. So he may have issues surviving. Very smart pick.
Man.
Pugno on the other side.
Yeah, that really, it puts a lot of pressure. If you were going to go OD, for example, with your 5th pick, puts a lot of pressure on that. I thought TNC might have been looking at an Alchemist before that Pugno comes out, but I think Pugno puts a lot of pressure on the Alkin lane as well.
And if you're worried about your opponent's dealing enough damage, you can decrypt to stop the physical right clicks. You've got a blast from Nether Blast. Even just setting up a Nether Ward really defensively is going to make it scarier for TNC to go high ground. Leshrac is going to take a lot of damage if he doesn't have magic immunity, and it gives them another damage source outside of just Chronosphere right clicks with mag, and now they've got a.
They're going to go ahead and Alk anyway. And I think that's the hero still that brings TNC's draft together. It gives you that burst farm, it gives you that damage potential when he's going to get that Radiance online super early. I think a lot is going to hinge on that Alchemist laning phase.
That's true, but I expect that TNC Predator is also going to be able to pressure side lanes pretty well. I don't have a ton of faith in Enigma as a laning hero. Generally, I see him lose those lanes. If he can have a pretty decent lane, they can do the side lane pressure. Elk should have a free game. Can he then turn it into good team fights, initiations, stun follow-ups, that kind of a thing? I think it'll be a pretty fun dynamic game. It could go a lot of different ways.
Can you see Alliance contesting TNC's jungle? That to me is the question, because I have a hard time seeing that with this lineup, and if they can't do that, I think TNC win.
It's definitely a little scary with Jakiro Rubik, but they're pretty good also. If Alk is 6, you can dispel dual breath, and then your damage is gone from those invades. And Magnus is your other hero who's not amazing at it, but could. They have some potential, especially Pugna. If you get Pugna in there, that's the guy that's gonna, with +1, gonna be able to kill heroes.
It's gonna be a great game.
It is going to be a great game. Thank you very much, gents. It is time to head over to our commentary team, who I'm sure are very excited at all the numerous movie-looking spells available in this one. Enjoy.
That's right. The all-knowing analysts have promised us a great game. Blitz, is it going to be a great game? TNC versus Alliance? I mean, this is a good matchup.
Oh, yeah. For sure it is. I mean, TNC, we get to see how good they really are.
Yeah.
Because Group B looked bad. Group B did not look so hot. I think a lot of people would agree on that. TNC, they did what they were supposed to. They absolutely clowned on them. But I felt like Group A, Vici and Alliance were so evenly matched. Beast Coast did not look bad at all.
No. I mean, it feels like Group A was a little bit more stacked after seeing the results of which.
We're Henry G and Sadakist.
Henry G and Sadakist? Dude. I mean, I'll be honest, that might be an upgrade.
Are they like the Toby and +1? It's the Owen and Fogg.
Yeah, they're pretty much the Owen and Fogg of CSGO, so I think they got an upgrade.
Oh, yikes.
Hey, there we are. Capitalist and Blitz. Welcome everybody to TNC and Alliance. We saw the odds come up. This is definitely going to be an interesting match.
Do you remember what I said when a good outgame is?
When is it a good
Do you recall
outgame?
what I said about yesterday?
Yes.
What did I say?
Well, the viewers probably don't remember what you said, so you should probably say it again.
You don't remember, do you? I literally said it at the beginning of the game.
I remember asking you about it. Normally, I do remember these things, but
Okay, I said that it's really good when you get to play against these like mid-game pace heroes like...
There it is. There's our odds coming up with TNC Predator, the heavy favorites. You were talking about the gap, right? The 15 to 20 minute you can't pressure them.
Yeah.
So you were talking about Void, I believe,
And Mag.
and Mag. You were talking about Mag too.
I was saying like Mag PA, Mag Jug lineups.
Right.
Because the problem with them is they want to farm. They want to chill and farm while this guy gets active on the map.
Yeah. And by the time you come online, Alka's already hit his 3-4 item.
Precisely.
So that's where our panel was talking about, like, hey, you gotta get in there. You gotta get inside the jungle, and they were kind of theory crafting who can do that. Pugna seems to be the best person to try and contest Alchemist's jungle. They've got Rubik and Jakiro, which is just kind of okay.
Pugna's pretty good, but everything you have to think about comes down to like what happens when he gets his BKB.
Yeah.
It's not even the Radiance that's the big thing. Because like he'll get the Radiance fast. It's how do you deal with this hero when he has BKB? They're hoping that their Void is able to do enough damage.
What do you think about the Enigma pick, by the way?
It's just what TNC runs a lot. Like when we did prep during Dream League or whatever, we were looking at their lineups and stuff like that and saw that they picked a lot of Night Stalker and what was the other hero? Enigma?
I've been wanting to see that. I don't think they picked it so far this tournament, the Safe Lane Night Stalker.
KP and Tim's both play it as well. The
Tim's plays it. They play a 4 Night Stalker?
Oh no, the Enigma.
Gabby.
The Enigma.
Oh yeah. So it's a nice, like... I found their opening to be a little weird, though. The Beastmaster Chen opener from TNC.
I think they're just heroes that they really like. It fits, like, that March style of Dota play. If anything, I feel like Chen and, like, Io really encapsulate how this guy wants to play Dota. He just wants to, like, kind of tank it up, help his safe laner get a good laning phase, and then just kind of sit and get carried.
TNC is one of the few teams that is, like, still actively running the Wisp Gyro duo.
Yeah, it's like, you know, March is like, all right, guys, I outdrafted them. Like, now you carry me. He just kind of chills. Of course,
Every
it's like
once in a
more
while, I'm going to
complicated
run
than
into a smoke gank and die, and that's fine.
You know, I did my job. You know, they're happy for it. I mean, March is a really good 5 player, but he really, especially in this meta, embodies that, like, I'm going to sacrifice my own game to make everyone else's better. So it's like, how much impact do you expect to have him in game? So it's better to put him on these kinds of heroes and let Gabby and Armel shine.
Yeah.
Not everybody in the game can have that huge impact. Everybody gets a huge amount of farm. It just doesn't work like that. Like the greedier cores that you have and the greedier players that you have, it means you have to lean into the 5 position even more.
Yeah. All the more important for you to be able to win your lanes, which is what, you know, at least the Chen pick is designed to be able to do.
Yeah. I will say, by the way, we've talked about TNC ad nauseum, but I think, for example, like, I really like Alliance's new lineup. I feel like it just kind of makes sense to me. It feels like they have a lot more identity than they used to. Like, I used to think that Limp was that player that, like, could never really put it together, had all the intangibles, like, on paper, good player, wins his lane, good teammate from all accounts, like, really stable guy. I mean, we've met him through several lines. Like, he's really chill.
Yeah, super nice, chill guy. Can shit talk in the interviews we saw in the pregame interviews with Slacks.
Yeah, so it's like, what exactly is it that prevents him? And I think what he really needed was, like, no offense to Kyle or anything, but maybe he needed the right kind of captain to enable him to sort of, like, build upon his strengths. And now that he has a lot of that confidence, this team, it feels like they've got, like, an identity. Because there are a lot of castaways on this lineup. You've got Hanskin, who a lot of people flamed, you know, going into the season. They're just like, this guy? You know, like, this guy's never shown us anything. Well, it's like, no, he's always been good. His
brightest moment was when he first came into Dota 2.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, like, ever since, it's always been middling or poor results.
Yeah, but this guy's always been good. He just... the coolest part I think about this lineup and what I appreciate is they all work together really well. Maybe like individually, if maybe it's like, oh, hold that thought, is
Yeah, you're gonna see
KP likely
them
going to die here?
Work together to finish off KP for the first blood for Nico Baby.
Yeah, Nico Baby probably like they're, you know, huge star and all that, but when it comes to it, like a lot of these guys, their reputations have taken such a big hit, especially like Fada, you know, everyone was like, really Fada? 5?
Yeah.
But, you know, they just make each other better, and I think that's really cool to see.
So you think this lineup is more than just a Nico Baby vehicle?
Yeah, of course.
Like, could you swap out Nico Baby for, let's say, Skeeter from Ninjas in Pajamas, and with this lineup still see, like, maybe not the same success, but, you know, relatively close?
I don't know about that. That's no flame to Skeeter, because I just think, like, they just work well for each other. I think this is a lineup that I hope gets to stay together just because I feel like they make each other better.
Yeah.
Which I think is a really cool thing to see in Dota.
Yeah. It's definitely been a lot of talk about how Nico Baby is a game winner, but the rest of Alliance do set him up.
I mean,
for
they enable
success.
his playstyle for sure. Like they started this lane by tri-laning from. They're going to make sure that he gets absolute free farm.
They gave him the first blood.
Really, what it is a carry nowadays in the meta is like, if we secure your farm, just don't lose the game for us.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're going to do exactly as we expected. We're going to give you the freest lane. We're going to make sure this offlaner doesn't mess with you. Just, you know, do your job.
Meanwhile, Limp is able to focus on what he does best, which is winning 1v1 matchups.
Oh, Limp is like the king of winning lanes. He actually, even when they were bad and stuff like that, that old squad that he was a part of, he always won lanes. That was never the problem with Limp. You're never like, man, Limp just lost his lane for the 15th time. It was like, Limp won his lane. Can he get something out of it? As most likely going to go down here, Armel.
Good rotations
TP though by
from
Tims.
Fada and Hanskin. Armel, he's slowly regenning, but it's not going to be good enough. Hanskin will take the last hit for that kill. 2 kills already for Alliance in the first 6 minutes of this game.
A little bit expected, just because I feel like their lineup is really slow. And I think that's why you have to pick Gabby as like a non-one position hero here, because you have a Chen and an Enigma.
Yeah.
You have 2 heroes that don't really do anything for you for quite a bit of time.
And you have a Beastmaster. That is a slow offlaner. That is not a hero that's going to run around and get you kills nonstop at 12 minutes.
Yeah,
so.
he wants to secure his own offlane first. You want people to come to you. You don't want to have to come to people.
And I think that this game will be a really good test in a way for Gabby to be able to demonstrate how good, because we've already seen him carry games, and this is going to be, I think, one of the ultimate, like, hey, you really have to be a do shit safe lane carry. You have to make all the moves, because you don't have anybody else to make the moves for you in this game.
This Enigma won't make space for you, and we see that off the bat. He's going to hit a very nice stun, get in front of 33, make it so that it's impossible for him to survive.
Just sitting on the high ground, waiting for KP to run up, and he will run into his doom, especially with time of dilation. They don't even need the Chronosphere, I think.
No, they got him. They got him.
Yeah, they got him.
This is what I mean. They're going to secure Nico Baby's farm. But they need to do this because they do have the better lanes, I'd say, at being able to get kills off the bat. And it's easier for their heroes to rotate and make moves. Aside from like 33, his life will just suck. He's gonna max in power, and you know that's what you got to deal with, buddy.
I was gonna say, like, Beastmaster doesn't want to rotate out of his lane. Gabby's gonna have to rotate to him. You know, they could get the Primal Roar kill and then turn that into a tower. It's so good if this safe laner can actually kill the offlane tower before he rotates. Mid lane, we're gonna watch Tims try and protect the mid tower while the Alchemist is away farming jungle, but he will die, and it looks like the tower may fall as well. So Alliance already picking up the pace, putting the pressure on these early objectives with their core Pugna.
Yeah, they recognize, oh, this is a very nice stack to steal though. But they're recognizing exactly what we said. Like, our lineup is meant to win this phase of the game. Let's get aggressive as possible because TNC have there's no counterplay for them. There's nothing that TNC can really do aside from move Gabby around the map.
All right, now what are you going to do with this, March and Gabby? They're actually going to turn and fight and maybe kill 33. He is able to walk away. The telekinesis
on
put
top of the
on
cliff.
top of the cliff with Limp just laying into him with that life drain. So Gabby will eventually die here, and so will March as he cannot get away from Nico Baby. Once again, Alliance are able to get kills without having to use their Chronosphere.
But they're going to lose the top tower for this. This is where KP's game now gets enabled. Like I said, even though he has Roar, he's not going to move. He wants you to move to him. So they're going to grab this tower. And what I'd really like for them to do is just completely own this side of the map now. You probably aren't taking mid tower with the heroes that you have, as we're going to see the replay again. Probably should have killed 33 there.
Yeah, that was, I think, a little bit of bumbling and spells there, but...
2 nice kills for them. TNC just kind of have to make space wherever they can.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have been that aggressive, but they did steal stacks.
They did steal stacks, and they did get a tower off of all that.
And they haven't had to use the chrono yet, so they should be a little bit worried about that at all times right now.
Hanskin setting up to go for the 10-minute bounty rune. Is actually going to get the telekinesis toss up into the cliff area from KP, so he's a little bit delayed, retreating backwards, but they're going to turn with the Primal Roar. Limto coming in from the side. Get the bounty rune and get out. That's the play for TNC, but they may not be able to do so as Nico Baby actually pops a Chronosphere. He had to time walk in, so he had to save himself with the Chrono. It looks like Tims will pay the ultimate price at top lane for getting that bounty rune. Still, though, how many did they get there, JJ? That
was 2 for 2.
No, that's 3 for TNC.
3 for 1, okay.
3 for 1. So that's got to be worth it, right? For an Alk lineup.
Plus I got Void Chrono off.
Oh yeah, that actually makes it mega worth. Vada, don't think you're getting away from this one, my friend.
Vada is so incredibly dead. Hadouken!
It is one of those nice 5s to be able to push out lanes and such, but he is going to be food for Beastmaster.
Oh yeah, Beastmaster's just going to chase him in circles. It's hard to hit the ice path too. Hanskin going to get that freebie. Gabby's farm, of course they've got the boots of travel on him. TNC especially seem to like this build on all their cores.
Yeah.
Just added mobility. It's really nice when you have Beastmaster too because you can TP onto any of the animals.
Mm-hmm. And the combined idea of having vision, right?
Yes.
Like they always have the sort of vision hero that makes your boots of travels more useful because you're able to abuse, push in lanes where you know the enemy team is not, while still simultaneously being able to group up. I think Leshrac is just an insane space maker when put as this sort of like safe lane core where he's able to get his guaranteed farm because he literally just runs down lanes. He bursts down towers. And he bursts down, lane creeps. He's able to farm neutrals really efficiently. It's so hard to keep this guy from farming.
He's going to get it stolen now, though. So that's 4 points of Edict. Got to be careful. They've got 4 points of Edict now, and they've got a Pug now.
Now,
be a little bit concerned.
They, we're talking about the danger of an Alk lineup. And to be honest, it's looking like TNC, they're just going to hit their timings on the Alk anyway. But this is more of a mid-game window for TNC, right?
Yeah.
Like Alliance, they still have the better late game carry in Void, right?
Trying to think. Yeah, I'd say so.
With the mag and stuff.
Yeah, he's got a lot of tools to help him out. They have a lot of damage that they can throw into the Chronosphere too, which is always what I look for in a Void lineup.
Yeah.
Sometimes I felt like some of the, the Fighting Pandas or whatever, they just pick this Void and be like, well, it's fine. We got Void back. Without really thinking about any of the other conditions that enable the hero.
Yeah. And some of those conditions are having damage you can lay into the Chronosphere, and Alliance has that in spades for sure.
Oh, look at this. They are going to bring Gabby in. This is what we expected. For TNC, they just want to kill whatever hero they can. Yeah. If that makes sense. You're less concerned about getting core kills and more about slowing down the timing of Alliance. Because I think Alliance especially is one of the more prolific 5-man lineups. Like, they really like to 5-man around the map.
Yeah.
So don't give them that opportunity to get these pickoffs. Don't let them just, group up for free. Otherwise, they feel real good about themselves.
Do you think that's why they went for this, Last Pick Alchemist and the Celesтрike pick? Those are heroes that definitely abuse the fact that you want a 5-man.
Yes.
And if you 5-man, you can't be all over the map and you can't stop Leshrac and Alk farming.
but eventually you will have to take team fights, which is where I think Alliance feel very comfortable.
Yeah.
Like their team fighting has been unreal throughout the season so far.
2,000 net worth lead for TNC. So pretty much means the game's about even, seeing as they have an ALK lineup. But with the Radiance coming up, this is just going to speed up his timings even more. He's going straight for the BKB. Straight for a fighting build, which kind of leads into what we were talking about, a very mid-game focused. Gabby does actually find Fada here, but with the TP rotations, Gabby quickly realizes he can't stick around.
Boy.
He's going to be caught by the Ice Path, Micropyre, taking so much damage already, but there's no real catch. And now TNC, actually just some extra space being thrown out by KP, goes for the Primal Roar to allow everybody on his team to escape cleanly.
He's very fast.
Yeah. Leshrac or Beastmaster?
The Lesh.
Yes.
Lesh just kind of ran away.
I hate that about that hero, man. He just...
But there are a lot of counters.
Blame Sumail for that one, man. Ever since he came up with the movement speed Leshrac build, that has been abused one way or another. Different builds over time. The hottest thing being going Boots of Travel first. 15-minute bounty runes. Looks like TNC have secured 3. Alliance, they are giving up so much ground, and now they're going to give away hero kills as well. Gabby, though, may be in trouble. Look at Fada. He's trying to sacrifice his body to make sure Gabby doesn't get too far away, but do they have any lockdown? They're going to have to use the Chronosphere to make sure that Gabby does die here. The Chen heal going off is not going to make a difference. Not for Gabby and not for his neutral creeps, it seems.
Now we're at a 5k lead. And this is the concern of when you have Void Mag, is like you usually want an offlaner on 33 that can put pressure, or protect towers, and he's not really either of those roles. This is very much like a Nico baby, do your thing, which is ideal for ALK drafts to play against, which is what I was trying to tell you yesterday. Like playing ALK drafts against these kinds of slower pace lineups where there is going to be inevitable time where you just want to utilize the fact that you got 4 points of Empower, means you can't really team fight. You're 4v5ing effectively. Your mag doesn't really have too many items, like he can't really do anything aside from be an Empower bot when you decide to go for the skill build and go for this playstyle.
You can't attack the enemy team, the map's getting smaller, so there's less farm for you to work off of.
It's like the same reason why ALK actually works really nice against like anti-mage and Spectre lineups, because you push the pace so quickly.
Hanskin, with a haste rune that he found, will try and get the kill on a Gabby. Thanks to the splitter steal, he will be able to land the Ice Path follow-up, and Gabby's still not dead. Now the Primal Roar coming in from the side. KP, he actually wants to fight this one. That's because Armel is coming in. Unstable Concoction, nailing the Pugna. Got the Decrepify off. That's going to be able to buy Limp sometime, but Fada's already dead on the side, and Limp is eventually going to die to the chase down. That is a kill streak being given to Armel as well.
I like what Hanskin's doing here. He's trying to split things up, but he might actually just get caught anyways. The Eidolon's trying to find him right now. If he pops the Pulse Nova, he'll know for sure, but gets the Yules off.
And that'll be just an easy chain stun combo.
They might even decide to go high ground here. Oh,
yeah.
No, they're going to back up and reset. This is not really the Alliance like bread and butter though, that I'm used to seeing anyways. I'm used to seeing like 33 play those like I press W, buff you up, but I can also sit in front of towers and defend. Mag, of course, has Empower, but it's different than like a save in that regard. And TNC throughout this tournament has been pretty good at getting map control, to say the least.
Maybe this just isn't the kind of draft that can punish TNC. Definitely seems like the kind of lineup where they said, we're going to let TNC crash into us and we're going to beat them in team fights. When it really counts. So far, that hasn't happened. With a 9,000 net worth lead on TNC, it's tough to see how Alliance will be able to kill more than just one core in a team fight, but we'll have to see. Especially with the BKB. Armel is now going to go for a heart after the BKB blink that he's picked up. And possibly a pipe for the Beastmaster, and that would just make Armel unstoppable, I think.
Yeah. For Alliance, you have to take a fight. Like, that sounds silly to say, like, obviously they need to, but the problem with Void as a hero against ALK is that Chrono has such a long cooldown, but Al can always fight. So it doesn't even matter if you win one fight. You've got to like stomp that fight.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the Alk is just going to do the same thing, go down lanes. This time you don't have Chronosphere. Like, you've got to make your stand at some point soon. Otherwise, you'll lose way too much map control. They'll get Roche. Aegis is the counter to Chronosphere.
It did kind of seem like, you know, they were trying to use Nico Baby early, you know, to run around that time where they were getting kills, but he didn't have to use Chronosphere.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of stopped. It felt like they stopped putting in that pressure, you know, of like trying to use this Chronosphere every single time it's off cooldown to get some sort of kill. To at least slow down the TNC flood that is about to happen.
Sun's being charged up right now. They're trying to see if they can get any stragglers here. The instant jump in on a limp.
The Hawk manages to find the Pugna leading into the Primal Roar just to make sure that the mid-core of Alliance does die. And the tier 2 is now theirs.
They can just
the
go Roche
taking.
now too, TNC.
Oh, yeah.
There's got to be a moment, though, where Alliance have to look at this game and just feel like, we're losing everything right now. You at least have to chance a smoke. Maybe not look for a straight-up 5-on-5, but something along those lines, because you are losing all semblance of map control.
I mean, they've given up 3, now 4 bounty runes for this time. And a kill, looks like. Espada. Okay, the Chronosphere laid out with no Chemical Rage, no BKB activated either. This is a good time to get a lot of damage onto this. Oh, and if he gets a little bit more stuns than Chen Heal going down, Armel finally pops the BKB, but he still goes down, so that is a big win for Alliance. KP now going to try and make it back. Ice Path, not quite long enough. Nico Baby, not quite lucky enough to be able to get a bash. Maybe with the Black Hole from Tim's. 3-man Black Hole with the axes over the top, but they need a little bit more damage. It's just not quite enough. They'll be able to get the Realwood kill, yes, but Nico Baby is still the monster you need to be able to defeat here. Gabby, now the damage is going to be here, but he immediately gets RP'd by 33. Nico Baby doesn't want to challenge the Leshrac, though. He wants to get out of this fight. There's the Ice Path, but it doesn't actually hit Gabby, so he'll be able to get the stun back in. Nico Baby going back in with a time walk. You can't time walk into that fight. You don't have BKB, you madman. He's going to try and get back with a second time walk. KP almost catching up to him, but no, not just enough vision or distance to be able to get that Primal Roar up.
Wow, Tim's completely salvaging this fight. Looked like KP was going to go down for sure. They were all stacked up in the perfect position. Fada just barely didn't have the Ice Path. That was enough to do it. They get the kill one after another. Their Beastmaster's strong enough, and look at the Leshrac coming after pressuring that top lane. 33. This is not the kind of role that we like seeing him on. His RP doesn't really put out damage. His team wasn't willing to fight around it either. You never like those like full retreat RPs. And now that Chronosphere is down, TNC is going to abuse the fact that their Alk is fight ready at all times.
Yep.
There was a pretty big error that he made too. His Reaver was inside his stash. Or he actually most likely lives there.
Yeah, I think so. They had just like barely had enough damage. They would have run out of damage. He would have regened up, and well, I think there was a lot of reasons that Alliance was lucky.
Yeah,
I think they were
TNC
lucky Gabby didn't have Boots of Travel sooner for the Black Hole play.
I think TNC were just a little bit, they were cocky. But Alliance have to take fights, and they saw that Gabby wasn't there.
Yeah.
Probably thought this is our opportunity. You have to use, you can't not use Chrono for 20 minutes against an Alk lineup and expect to win.
Yeah.
And Hanskin's going to get caught up again.
Poor Hanskin. He's sitting in there in the trees, but it was directly in sight of that ward that was laid out. Nico Baby does have the Chronosphere. With just the time dilation, he's really hoping he can get the kill without having to use his ultimate and be abused. He will be able to get that Aegis away.
But top, though.
He has to TP back to the top lane to be able to protect his tier 3. Well, that's going to fall. Maybe protect the barracks. They don't have Gabby here. Nico Baby has arrived, but he wants a better Chronosphere than just locking down this Alchemist who sits on the front line. They're slowing down. Now they're going to go for it, and it is just going to be this Alchemist.
He does
and they
not
don't
deal
really
enough
have
damage.
a ton of damage to lay into him, but the Chemical Rage has worn out. Chen Heal going down, but Gabby and the rest of TNC is now here with the BKB activated by Armel. Nico Baby just does not do enough damage, and TNC are just going to calmly walk out of this fight, and they can take Shrines at their leisure now.
They should reset, get some mana, take the Shrines, and they can go for it again. As we see, Nico Baby comes in, leaps in pretty confidently, but The Alk still had the remnants of his ulti for the first 2 seconds there, and by the time it ended, with the Chen heal, not even close.
I mean, there was also no Jakiro to lay damage into it. There was no like Ice Path to chain stun even.
Yeah.
There was no life drain. That was on cooldown.
They're just going to go for it again. And TNC rightfully should. If you thought the fight was easy before, now there's no Chronosphere.
While the assault begins, and Alliance may just have to concede this lane of barracks unless Hanskin can get something really good here. Unstable Concoction leading off. Follow up Ice Path. Just chain stunning him, but no real damage.
He's in the back, but he needs to get the Rubik or wait for the Rubik to steal his spell first. I don't even think it's very necessary for him to have to lead in with a black hole. This is their fourth layer of in case we mess up. And that's the crazy part about their lineup. It looks so scary.
The final trump card in the deck is not needed. They walk away with a lane of barracks and a 20,000 net worth lead now on TNC. And a fresh round of items. BKB for Gabby. The medallion now for the Beastmaster, which eventually he will turn into the Solar Crest to amp up Armel even more.
Part of the problem, I think, with like when you have Void plus Mag is what Void really needs more than like that damage is that attack speed. Everything that he gets item-wise and his skill set lends to attack speed, whereas like Empower doesn't really do that for you. It pays off because you start to farm a little bit faster, but you need time. Like you need to buy more time for your Void so that he can get like 4 items, and then he's a beast with this Empower. But as it stands, like, you know, he just doesn't really put out enough damage, and like we talked about before the game started, the Alk timing is so good versus the Mag timing.
Pretty sure TNC's gotten like 14 out of the last 16 bounty runs.
Yeah, that helps. Doesn't hurt.
Jumps up to another 23K with probably with Shrine going down. We're going to be looking at a 25,000 net worth
that
lead
net
for
worth
TNC.
has never
before
dipped
they
in this game. Jeez. TNC's so good. They make everything look so good.
Yeah.
This isn't... I don't even know if this is Alliance being like bad. They played the early game reasonably well. But I just want to give a lot of credit to TNC.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes the team can just play out of their minds, have good drafts. And this is like their... This is one of their last stands. You have to stomp the fight here. Nico Baby looking for the backline. He's going to catch KP first.
Leads off on KP, and that's all he's going to Chronosphere to. TNC is just way too split up, and Tim's waiting on the high ground, waiting for his opportunity to be able to jump in. They finally... No, he still doesn't finish off KP. He still gets Primal Roar. 33 doesn't catch anybody. Tried to go for the RP, but he doesn't see an opportunity. Now he's going to let it down with 2 heroes.
Look at
with the
Tim's.
cleave, they can do some damage. Tim's just waiting this entire time. Eventually, he will show himself and try and get that one little stun. He's just a small little half-second stun. That's all he needed to do to be able to make sure Nico Baby dies. Black Hole still in the bank here as Hanskin's going to get jumped in by Armel, and that's it. Now the Black Hole comes out.
Give it back to them.
Stolen by Hanskin. He gets a 4-man, but that is all you will get out of this Game 1 Alliance because TNC, another perfect thrashing.
I will say, especially in that bottom fight, which actually Tim's amazing Black Hole made okay. I don't really know where the missteps were. They just kind of cleanly took you out. For Alliance, you have to be prepared to play against this style. I think maybe because they saw the Gambit game, they thought it would be a little bit more slow pace. Like, oh, well, TNC, they look like they're down to chill. And it's like, no, if you go Mag, Void, we will punish you. We'll take this Alk. We have this Chen. We saw how deadly that combo was at TI. It was like a 80% win rate together. They'll pick up these free wins against you.
All right, well, I don't know. March is just some kind of insane captain, man. He's led so many teams to TI, and it's looking like he's leading TNC to an easy ESL 1 victory at this rate. We'll see what happens next, though, in Game 2, TNC versus Alliance.
Yeah, let's hold on to those TNC horses just yet. Still plenty of games ahead of us to get carried away. TNC fans all over the world rejoicing right now that they've maybe got an SEA Titan at ESL 1 Hamburg. They're certainly looking very good and a good value for money in their first game as well. Just one more will guarantee them a top 3 finish at ESL 1 Hamburg already. And we haven't even got to the Barclaycard Arena. Alongside me are Purge and the Has to break down game number 1. And gents, what a just an outstanding performance from TNC. What more can we keep saying about this team right now?
It's the TNC that we've seen throughout this event. It's the TNC that understands what you need to do to win the game and just gets there a little bit faster. I think that Blitz is right that bottom fight was kind of TNC just slamming the Alliance window shut.
Yeah, we saw last weekend. Sorry, Kevin. We saw last weekend. Alliance looked fantastic. They made a great comeback. They've won a tournament. They won Dream League. TNC just made them look very ordinary.
Yeah, I think they just outdrafted them a lot this game. This is like one of the things you can do sometimes with push lineups. Everyone's kind of scared about it. You say, we're pushing. Ow. And then you're like, oh, that's not good. And then also they were so singular on their damage output. It was all magic damage. Pugna was their core. Pugna amplifies magic resistance, does more magic. They had Jakiro as a support. He's almost all magic. There was a lot of times top where it'd be Beastmaster gets gone on or Leshek gets gone on, and they just don't die. And that's because March utilized the Chen to have lots of magic resistance creeps. And the way that magic resistance works is that if you have more sets of them, the way the math works is that it amplifies. You get extra. It's not just like 10% everyone. Stacks. You get a little bit extra. It's like a little bit more beneficial. And that ultra counters Pugna, because Pugna's whole deal is I want to lower your magic resistance. So magic resistance reduction against tons of stacking magic resistance auras means you just don't do any damage, and you saw that. He also didn't buy Veil, so he didn't really give himself any more extra damage here. So they just had all this trouble killing cores in the mid part of the game. So any moves that Alliance tried to make outside of Chronosphere, and even Chronosphere at the end, it was really hard for them to get kills.
Yeah, Divine Favor and Chemical Rage is also pretty good.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, that's what's creating a lot of that tankiness as well. And I think the beginning of the game, the lanes for TNC felt a little bit static. I was a little bit worried with this 4 position Enigma in particular that Alliance was making a lot of those early game moves. But if you notice, they got the kills from time to time, but they never really made inroads onto that Radiant side of the map, denying the Alchemist his jungle. And he did get pushed out of lane. I mean, he got doubled up in CS by the Limp Pugna, but the Jaws theme is playing in the background. You know, with that Alchemist, he's going to come out 20 minutes with his Radiance and his next item. And I love the fact that Gabby goes ahead and he builds Radiance, BKB, Blink, and just goes in.
Watch KP's survivability here. He gets Chronosphere, marches moving the creeps close to the Chrono, so he gets the magic resistance aura, and when he gets low, pops both heals, he finally roars and runs out. It's like the extra healing that they get and the magic resistance that they have just meant that there's no damage coming out of a Faces Void who has a Maelstrom. It's all magic damage. The time lock procs are magic. It's like, and then they have a Pugna and a Jakiro. It's like there's no way to deal damage. And eventually, if you can't burst those guys down, they're gonna outlast you, and then they're just gonna kill you with like a stun and like 4 little Alk slaps.
And this was the knock on Void for a long time, right? I mean, as good as Void has been in the meta recently, the knock on him for a long time was he was just too slow. And he certainly felt slow in this game. That Maelstrom is not enough. It's a great farming accelerant, but it's not enough by itself to do damage inside the Chronosphere and kill all these heroes, especially with all the sustain that we've been talking about.
It's good enough normally, but against all the magic resistance auras and the Chen, it's definitely not enough damage.
Okay. Alliance, talk about what right now in the break?
They need a strat. Their confidence has been unfounded. People are going to play back that Limp interview in their mind at 20. It'll be like 20, and then they're going to cut to the end of the game where they're just done.
I think that's going to be a new GIF meme at some point out there. That aside, they know how to come back in games. They're not down and out. They've done it already. We saw it at Dream League, obviously, as well. So they know how to come back.
That's true. Maybe he meant 20 as an 0-2. That might have been.
Purge.
You never know.
And on that note, we're going to take a break ourselves here and cool down. TNC, we hope you're enjoying their play. We're certainly enjoying it as we head into a break right now. When we come back, game number 2 between these two titans of ESL 1 Hamburg for a place in the top 3. We'll see you soon.
At the highest level of play, there can be no compromises. Gamers demand the highest clock speeds to give them the FPS they need to perform. Rise to the moment. Intel Core i7, the official CPU of ESL 1. Intel, unleash your brilliance.
Multiple witnesses have reported mysterious shadow sightings all around the city. According to experts, the origin of these shadows is
So this is it. This is where it all started. The great business of DHL.
You remember when we still use these?
We have all come a long way since then.
Hey, Effie, my little buddy. I got a special job for you. And this is only the beginning.
Life is made up by special moments that touch us. A touch of genius, an inspirational touch, and a touch of magic. Some touches are simply unique. Euronics, a human touch in a digital world.
I'll show you how it's done. There's no sight we go inside. The man, he is the one. You build your walls with faith in God. They never come around. Then wonder why we all defy the burden to be born. We're coming home with a mission to bring an end to a terrible land. We are here to your omission. We are many of one. We're coming home with a mission to tear you down from your undeserved room. We can take your conviction. We are many of one. You may call it a virus, but we call it the antidote. It's an answer to silence. The future is here to revolt. working part-time jobs, chasing all my dreams now lately. No matter if I try too hard, nothing's ever enough, baby. No, I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side. I don't care too much. We got time, no rush. In your eyes, I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes, I always feel different. Tell me everything's alright. Life is just a bunch of phases, and if it's not, we'll still be fine. I know we're going places. I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side. I don't care too much. We got time, no rush. In your eyes, I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes, I always feel different. Under peach yellow skies, dreaming big and aiming high. Name the clouds passing by, wishing we run away. All we need is our passports, baby. Leave the rest in our troubled minds. Let us go down in laughter, baby. Trying to figure out what we're after. We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after.
ESL 1 Hamburg is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, DHL, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, Asus Republic of Gamers, Pay Safeguard, and Euronics.
Reasons, baby. Leave it all for the fame.
TNC versus Alliance is our first upper bracket semi-finals. We welcome you back to the city lights of Hamburg. It's ESL 1 Hamburg, powered by Intel 2019. We are just a few hours now about moving everything over to make sure that we bring you from the Barclaycard Arena tomorrow the live show that I know that you're all looking forward to. The group stages have been very enlightening though. We've learned an awful lot about these teams, not least of which about TNC and how silky smooth they are at the execution of the fantastic March drafts. On the other side of things though, Alliance have come unstuck a little bit in game one, but we know they've got comeback ability. There's a new word for you as we rejoin Purge and the Has here on the panel. We're going to get into the draft pretty quickly, Alan, and it's a draft that now, I guess, a lot of importance is on for Alliance. It's not just about execution and how they play the game.
Sure.
There was a lot in that last draft that made sense from TNC again.
I think at least ex post, you can say that Alliance got a bit outdrafted there, but I think the fix is pretty easy. And the more I think about it, the more I think it's not the Nico Baby Void. I think the 33 Magnus was a big problem in that draft. You picked the Magnus 8th overall, and it gave you this other massive cooldown that you had to play around, and it really limits 33's ability to control tempo. You look at this guy's having a lot of success on Legion Commander for a reason. He's very, very good at controlling tempo with this hero. Think about what he did earlier today on Bristleback, a hero that can just play in these constant engagements and handle pressure brought from the other side of the map. That's what I want to see now more from 33. I think he's their key player here in Game 2.
I totally agree with everything you just said, but they needed a solution against the Enigma Black Hole, right? Okay. That was clear. Like, if Enigma gets BKB Blink, he's going to pick his target and they're going to die every single team fight. And if he can't RP to defend against that, if they don't pick something in that position or with their last pick that can interrupt it, they're going to have issues.
I think they might have.
That's why they picked it.
I am less concerned about that when I know it. If I knew it was going to be a 4-position Enigma, I'm a little bit less concerned about that because the BKB is coming online a bit later.
It was obvious, actually, in hindsight, because they had already picked Beastmaster and they had Enigma. It was clearly going to be KP or Beastmaster, vice versa. So, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it was too big of a worry.
But I really do think, again, TNC going right back to it in the first phase here. Everybody is talking about Nico Baby, and for good reason. I think this guy has a chance to be this year's Nisha, but I think long-term 33 is going to be the key to this team. If this is going to be a consistent Tier 1 team throughout the year, it's going to be because he takes that next step.
Is it our... I don't want to be too mean too early, but... Is it quite predictable at the moment how to beat Alliance? Is it shut down Nico, make sure you don't give 33 a comfort hero, don't give one of the signature heroes to Limp, and all good? Is that too simple?
Can't you just say that sentence to any team, Paul?
No, I don't think so.
No.
It's a matter of
TNC right now. How do you beat TNC right now? Because March's drafting is unbelievably good right now.
Yeah, but
KP's playing a range of different heroes, so you can't look him down. He likes go at you, run at you off laners. It's not like that because he can play Venno.
It's why a lot of why I love Pro Dota so much is because this becomes a part of that team's storyline throughout the year. We're saying these same things about Liquid midway through last season. Liquid, if you shut down Miracle, they can't win.
Yeah,
right?
no. We've been there. So my point is those three things, have TNC figured that out?
I think they're just better.
You do?
Yep.
You just think they're on a different range right now?
They're just better.
Yeah.
And when you're better, you see cracks and you try to figure out why they're better or why they're winning, and damn it, they're just better.
Yeah, okay. So what do Alliance do in the meantime?
Get better.
Do you know, I had a fire extinguisher brought in just because you were so spicy at the end of that last segment. Yeah. I thought I might need it.
Where's it? Spray me. I'm ready.
Wow.
Let me turn the other way and close my mouth first.
Getting back to the draft. I cannot believe I heard the word "spray me, I'm ready" on a panel. I am very disturbed.
From Purge.
From Purge. Wow, usually Kyle's the one I have to worry about going there. All right. Anyway, no,
all the perverts. It isn't me. I was talking about fire extinguishers.
See, I was talking about fire extinguishers. I'm with you, Kevin.
Nahaz.
Oh, yeah, it's the dirty old man with his mind together.
The brain of Nahaz over there.
Were you quick to say dirty old man? Because you are a dirty old man. Is that why it's on the mind?
No, I was just going to make fun of Brett because he's older than me.
That's okay. I've got less grey hair.
You much less grey hair. This has been since 26, dude. Anyway, coming into the second phase here, Alliance do still have a lot of options. TNC takes the Alchemist off the board themselves. We had actually seen that. Several options still left, though. The Naga Siren is still on the table. I'd really like to see that again from TNC.
What do you make about the Leshoga opening?
I think it's fine. It'll give them tower potential stuff. Ogre is safe and fine.
Yeah, I think... I was going to say it gives them flex, but it doesn't anymore because they've now revealed that they've got an Abaddon in the team, so it doesn't really give them the flex that I was going to talk about.
How do we not talk about that hero?
Yeah.
Most teams aren't like there are ogre 3s.
I think it's the one that slipped down though, isn't it, Kevin? Over the first day, sure, ban it out. First phase, no one plays it. Second day, got through a couple of times, didn't really impress. Third day, today, it's gotten through quite a lot today.
For the games we've watched, I've seen it on other streams a little bit. It's still a pretty big staple.
It's still good, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Oh,
it's
God,
still
It didn't look
popular.
good as a 5, admittedly, but it had a rough game against the Bristles, so it's hard to kind of figure out.
Yeah, I think you throw the 5
5
game out, and I think
it's still a good hero.
Yeah. You look at the game that like Resolution plays it at a 3, and they got Bane. I mean, they ended up losing, but they've got Bane, Abaddon, and Shadow Demon, and they're just running underneath the tier 1 tower, just saying, "What are you going to do to us?" The hero is he's just a bully. And I think it's terrific in terms of creating the kind of space and relieving the pressure that Alliance struggled to deal with in game 1.
This gyro, Enigma, Undying for TNC.
So it seems like people are picking Undying a lot to secure Gyro Sling. Helps a lot if it's against a strength hero. One thing Blitz is talking a lot about is that Centaur beats Gyro because of the base damage advantage. Undying takes that away against strength heroes, so helps Gyro get for sure last hits. Go ahead, talk about Ember Spirit.
He's 1-11 so far at the tournament.
Yeah.
He's been awful, and he's looked very slow. He's looked like a hero that, yes, I know he's got this magic damage potential in the mid game, but he's looked like a hero that has had trouble scaling into the late game, as we know Ember Spirits can.
So, why are teams going back for him every time?
So there's always this like shift in the meta. It's not for sure happening here, but if some team starts going 1-11, you just pick them later in the draft when it's a good game.
Right.
Yeah.
When he's got less counters.
Yeah.
Well, there's no disable here apart from there's homing missile and black hole.
And homing missile is extremely easy. Homing really easy to dodge. Use for 1 fire remnant. You can dodge it with slight sometimes too, pretty easy.
That is such a sick Legion pick.
Enigma.
That is such a sick Legion pick.
It's pretty good, yeah. Dueling Ember is obviously excellent, but
another 4 Enigma.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gold Deny is definitely something that we saw out of Tim's that game.
The only 2 Enigma picks this tournament have both been by TNC, and it's been Tim's both times.
I mean, Enigma's been out of the meta for a long time, it feels like. There's always periods of time where it's dominant, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, Enigma's bad now. Maybe too easy to kill in lane or something. But the 4 Enigma is maybe the difference. Maybe the 3 Enigma, probably too rough at like standing in lanes and not feeding your hero or your Eidolons. But the 4 with a capable 3 seems more viable.
Well, I think a lot of teams have they figured out that to run a 4 Enigma, he's going to be in those mid lane secondary camps. He's going to be in the jungle a lot of the times, and then you still have to have a way to bring pressure in the other lanes when you have that hero that's going to be off the map for a lot of the first 8 minutes of the game. TNC were fairly good at that in the last game. They traded water on that top lane as KP's Beastmaster. He did give up a death, I believe, or 2 on the top lane, but he traded fairly well for himself early. This is, man, I think this draft has really gone sideways after this Ember pick. I don't know where he goes. You don't want him in the mid lane. Nico Baby, that was his first really bad game of this tournament, was when they put him on safe lane Ember on the second day.
That slug ban.
Oh, yeah.
Just because it beats Abaddon, I guess. Against a melee hero. Kind of makes sense.
Is that a brute ban?
That is
a, ban, right?
core
and
Night
a core
Stalker.
Yeah, it is.
And that is going to be disgusting.
Is that their mid hero? What's going on?
I think Gyro did.
Gyro goes mid.
And then they're just going to safe lane either
Stalker?
Legion or Night Stalker. Okay.
Well, Legion could. It just depends on the matchup. I think these heroes can
Gabby played Night Stalker already, right?
So. Yes, he did two Night Stalker games in this tournament by Gabby, and 27 kills and 1 death. Yes.
I do kind of like it against like both Ember and Leshrac. They're very spell reliant heroes, so if you can hypothetically get on top of them with a lot of farm, then you should be able to pressure and kill them. So, and Vision for Legion duels should help you pick fights. Wraith King, pretty solid pick considering. Against all the melees, he shouldn't be kited too much, but Night Stalker does also kite him, I guess.
There's a lot of swords on Alliance's team this time around.
That is true.
I mean, but you look at this TNC lineup, and apart from the black hole, like they kill Wraith King once, and what changes? Why aren't they just going to kill him again? That's what I worry about. This other than the black hole. Okay, you could talk about duel. I don't know.
They have some cover, I guess, with Ogre and stuff like that.
I mean, Abaddon needs, the way he plays right now and the reason he's so good, he needs to be able to just run up to these towers and whack, 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 and force engagements on his own terms. Nightstalker all of a sudden is running around with perfect vision, able to take those tower fights either under his own or under the enemy's, no problem. I think this is a really strong draft by TNC.
Another strong draft from TNC. Thank you very much, Perch. And Nahaz, we are all set then to get into our second game. Our TNC about to take a clean sweep and take place inside, or move a place inside the top 3 here at ESL 1 Hamburg. Or can Alliance stretch them and take a game back? Let's find out.
What did I say, Blitz Dota? What did I say I wanted to see from TNC?
Nightstalker?
Their safe lane Nightstalker. And they're going to run it just for little ol' me. And maybe to be able to 2-0 Alliance, but most importantly for me.
Do you think it's going to be a 2-0?
I don't know. I haven't actually fully digested the drafts in my brain and come up with analysis.
I see.
Is it going to be a 2-0 Blitz Dota?
I don't know.
Professional analyst?
Alliance have I don't know, dude. I'm just garbage. Maybe Dota's not my thing, dude. After this, I'm just gonna become a homeless guy. There's nothing wrong with that.
True.
That's my true calling. Alliance, I mean, they have good heroes. Like, they have heroes that they feel comfortable with. 33 is on a hero that I feel like he can win on. Let me say, I feel like he is wasting his talents on a hero like Mac.
Yeah. Being an Empower bot is not.
Yeah, like, I want this guy to stand in front of towers and be a boss and run in front and passively create time for his true carry Nico Baby. I don't want this guy to, like, sit in a jungle, hit W, and then walk around in circles where he does like 100 damage RPs. You know, that doesn't feel very good.
Stun 1, stun 2, stun 3. KP will be able to shrug off at least the movement speed slow from the Wraithfire Blast, but he's body blocked by Limp beautifully. And stun 4 and stun 5 will make sure they get the first blood for Limp.
Oh, this feels good.
And already, well, he may have gotten first blood on Alliance, but everybody saw that first game from TNC, and they're heavily back in the Southeast Asian squad.
Right, that is a one-sided 7-1, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, not even the Patriots-Jets game was that bad.
You had a bet with Kyle, didn't you? What was your odds?
Me and Kyle bet $20, and he was very confident. So for anybody that doesn't know, this doesn't apply to you, but he bet on the Jets to win, and he took 3 to 1 odds.
Uh-huh.
And
that was the official Vegas odds?
Yeah, we just looked up the Vegas odds. It was 3.5 to 1, and he got absolutely dumpstered. The score was like 33-0 or something. And somehow, GGBet thinks that this is going to be twice as bad as that was. I've yet to see it, so, you know, I mean, I think Alliance deserve a lot more credit than that, but maybe they just think that TNC is just good as hell, which, you know, might not be a terrible sentiment either, if I'm honest.
Yeah, they've only lost 1 game so far here at ESL 1. We're going to watch March probably die here. They're going to be able to chase him down. They do have a split earth. May not need it, though.
I don't even know if that's that good of a trade, though.
Just kind of dives and, yeah. I mean, he didn't get the last hit on the kill.
No.
He got to reset. Maybe he was low on regen. But yeah, trading your core for a support's never got to feel that good.
Bottom lane, it looks like KP's doing okay in the XP department. Is getting blocked by Fada completely. Not really sure where he's going to go.
And now Nico Baby may be able to block him in a little bit more. Wraithfire Blast couldn't lock him in the trees. Will be able to get a few more stuns. If they could get a really big crit here again from Nico Baby, they might be able to get the kill, but it doesn't come.
Wastes all his mana, though. They've done a very good job of zoning KP out. They weren't able to do that too much. Even with the tri-lane last game, I felt like his Beastmaster got way too much. He was the same level as the Void for the most part. As KP is stuck around, healed up. He's got a huge wave under him. And boldly, Alliance decided to give up the Enigma again, which I don't necessarily think was the reason they lost. In fact,
yeah,
that
Tim's
game
really didn't
kind of
have to
felt
yet.
4-on-5. Like,
yeah,
Tim's just kind of chilled and had the easiest job. He's just like, in case you need it,
yeah,
it's here.
that last fight where he literally just stood on the high ground the entire time, came out with one Malefice, and that was it. Like, that proved
It was
that.
kind of adorable. He's like, again, in case you need it, I'm here.
I'm here for you.
Don't forget, your good old buddy Tim's.
Your good old emotional support buddy.
In case you're wondering who to vote for Mercedes-Benz MVP, the passive pressure he was able to put out. It was the implication.
That's true. That is, with the MVP vote, it's even more respectable how passive Tim's was. They were going to lose our Night Stalker here. This is the Abaddon off-lane core with a support that is enabled. Gabby is oh my goodness, that was a lot of damage. Well, Gabby, he may still die to the Diabolic Edict. It's a little bit close, but yeah.
All right, he just turned around and thwacked him once. I don't think 33 realized how much HP the Decay was doing.
Yeah.
He probably only had like 300 there.
And Night Stalker hits very hard.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, he has a very high base damage.
I don't love these traits from 33. Yes, you are getting the kill on a Gabby, but he's only level 2, and eventually it'll hit nighttime, and all of this that you've done doesn't really feel like it's worth it. If anything, I feel like he should just be in a position where he's looking to trade a little bit more farm.
Yeah, the first kill was definitely way more egregious because you killed an Undying, and that always feels terrible because he comes back with full mana and starts decaying you again.
Fall into his trap card, man.
Yeah.
But when it comes to CS, wow, this Legion is doing well.
Yeah, they. This is something about this. You said, last game obviously you got way too much as the Beastmaster. This TNC formula works out so well where they're able to. KP was one of the most adept solo offlaners 2 seasons ago.
The thing about KP,
Tim's is that greedy 4 who doesn't want to really lane that much.
Something about KP that I noticed is I think he gets a lot of flack, no pun intended here, because of the kind of playstyle he plays. He's not really a 2-on-2 meta laner. He's the kind of guy that, like, you leave him alone, he's always going to get what he's supposed to get. He's never going to carry you in the same way that a lot of offlaners can, but you're just not devoting as many resources to him either.
Yeah.
So it's not a big surprise when he doesn't, he's not 20-0 with like all the farm in the world.
Sure.
But he's not supposed to play that role.
3-2, and we are just about to get into not only the Bounty Rune spawns, but also the nighttime, and 33 is in trouble. 3 more seconds till the Euphonic Shield. He's going to have to juke out Gabby. Gabby goes the wrong direction.
With the Bounty Runes, though, as a result, you can see that March is already on the hunt.
Well, maybe Hanskin, he is faster than March, and he will be able to land the split Earth and maybe get the kill. Oh, the neutral creeps may be able to take it away from him. No, Hanskin draws the aggro out, gets the kill on March, gets the 2 Bounty Runes.
Nice. Well done. Hanskin already picking up a very early Arcane Boots, which is why I do love when supports are getting the last hits in these kinds of trialings. But remember, the real game hasn't started until Tims is pressured to leave the jungle. We saw the exact sort of start in the last game, and it didn't seem to amount to much, but mid lane looks like this is going to be an easy kill onto Armel. Nice rotation by Fada. I think he's more or less given up on bottom lane as a...
Yeah, I think that was a smart read by him that, like, they gave KP way too much. He can't impact that lane anymore. Try and do something else.
They messed up. They're like, well, what can you do?
Yeah.
Ogre being here. The problem with Ogre is, like, once that laning phase doesn't go like it's supposed to, you don't get it going from, like, the beginning. The enemy offlaner doesn't really care. And I'd imagine that, if anything, Legion probably deals with you the best.
Yeah.
Because you get to trade hits. As Fada gonna get stunned up, called down to follow. This should be a free kill for Armel, alleviating his pain from dying. Surprised that Fada decided to hang around for that long.
Yeah. Then again, he's like a level 3 ogre. He didn't give up that much gold. He didn't give up that much experience.
Yeah, but I'd imagine like level difference like from both sides. You can see Legion's doing just fine. He's already level 6, in fact. They're gonna make a move on him, and they have to slow down his game. KP is having way too free of a time as stun 1, stun 2, stun 3. Here comes the Edict. The nuke, though, is gonna make him really quick, and this might just get him out of here. I mean, they 3-man stood.
He's so tanky.
They also 3-man stood on top of his nuke and just kind of gave him a haste.
Gabby, meanwhile, they're able to kill the solo offlane 33 at this point. They needed to stop KP, but then you just leave any hero against Night Stalker in a 2v1.
33's game. This is now his third death, I believe. It has been slowing down so much. That's why I didn't love that trade. Even though you're trading with a Night Stalker, it's not that easy.
Oh, this is a good duel, though. With the rotation coming out from Armel, they will be able to get the kill onto Hanskin, taking away his kill streak, too. Oh.
This is so huge that KP was able to win this bottom lane despite being in a 1-on-2 against an Ogre.
Yep.
The entire point of Ogre is you sit there, you bonk the enemy off laner, he doesn't get anything, you win your lane. And now 33,
his lane is ruined.
Yeah, he does have... They're all... Okay, so they all took time to tip Gabby.
Gabby ran away from the kill, so they would have more time to tip him.
I like it.
Oh, boy.
There's a meta being established right now, and TNC... The fact that they're... All right, so now Tim's has entered the game. He's got his Helm of Dom. They have to defend the safe lane tower. They're going to bring down Limp.
Limp is going to get ensnared up before he can get on top of KP, but he should get close enough with the slight, and he does level up change just to be able to get a momentary stun, a pause onto KP, but KP's running so fast and he's taunting so much, he's not going to hit by the split earth either, and KP survives again.
That is the third time that they've tried to do that, and he gets out, and this is just the amount of resources that you're devoting to try to slow down this LC that's already had a very good time. I can't imagine this is what your game plan was supposed to look like on the side of Alliance. And even though I said, like, you know, KP gets a lot of flack, he's going to give you what he gives you, he's definitely overperforming in this game.
Dude, somebody needs to make sure that 33 gets level 6.
Yeah, this guy's level 8 on the side of LC, conversely. 33 is just getting right-clicked down by Gabby. His game's been fine. They're definitely going to lose this bottom tower. If you go down bottom again and you don't kill KP, I genuinely think your game is just ruined at this point.
Yeah.
You will not win anymore.
Yep. They've already sacrificed 33s.
It's just too much.
So much, and they've
had to
still
go
lost
down,
the tower.
and he gave the Gyro enough space to catch up after they got the kill and slowed down his game. You can't afford to do that again. You get maybe one good attempt at that. And he's still not level 6 on 33. Gabby getting aggressive. He's going to pop the shield on himself. Once again, they want a TP.
You know, you need the Aphotic Shield to blow up on the creeps to get your level 6, 33.
Nice.
He does get the deny. Well played.
But that's like the upside for him right now.
Yes.
Yay. Oh, the net. He's taking a lot of damage. But no Enigma quite here. This is going to be a lot of Eidolons farmed up by Limp. So that's a little bit of a win. And Fada is set up for the top bounty runes, but so far so good from TNC. Their draft, their 4th position, Enigma is not being punished in either game.
There is still, now I'm not going to say bright spots for Alliance, but we're talking about how 3 players' games are ruined. That means Nico Baby and Limp need to step up because they're the only ones who have a semblance of a game right now.
This is where, if you think Nico Baby is a tier 1 carry, he's going to overperform for you and dig you out of this like shit show of a game.
Yeah.
He's probably like looking at us like, what the hell are you guys doing? Like, I'm having the chillest game, and you know, all of a sudden,
like, I'm trying to be K1 Hector right now, guys. Like, I'm trying to farm Wraith King jungle, but you know,
you're supposed to carry them, but like,
yeah, Beast Coast gave Hector a chance to win the game. Right now,
yeah, they're you don't want to put your carry in a position where 10 minutes in, you're losing by 3,000 gold and all your lanes look really rough. They are going to create some space for 33. They needed to take this tower in return.
But Armel, who's level 11, is already here in the bottom lane. We said Limp also needs to step up here, and this is going to be a massive kill. Using that Invis rune to be able to get on top of Armel, who's probably really far forward, but simultaneously really just fine. Too tanky, it seems. Top lane rather, back over to KP, who is going to get silenced up in a moment here. The split earth, it's going to miss. Hanskin whiffs that one, and as a result, the LC is going to get out of here, and Gabby, he's now going to hunt for a kill. Now, 33 is still not leveled up his ultimate, so he will be able to use it in the coming moments to try and turn this fight. KP gets stunned up, but immediately takes that off. With the press the attack, Gabby flying around in the trees, can't really be gone on either, so...
He's got to be careful. He's about to lose that here in a second. should just use this time to farm a little bit. And if you're Alliance, I'd like to see them get... You have to get aggressive. You have to punish the fact that they've got this 4 Enigma. It's, you know, it's daytime right now. There's no Night Stalker ulti. Do what you do best. Gather mid. Use the Abaddon. Just force down that tower. Make it hard for TNC to play this like slower paced game. Because their lineup is very timing based. Is the downside of TNC's lineup. Like they have to move around when they have their ultis. When it is nighttime. That is the one thing about Night Stalker carries. He's very limited. He's absolute garbage during the day.
And even if like Leshrac and Abaddon's games were both ruined by the laning phase, they do have a sick duo that is really hard to contest when it comes to taking towers and defending towers.
Yes. Like Lesh has had a good enough start in this game. Abaddon, I mean, 33's game is so rough. He's at 3,100 net worth. It's lower than the 4th position of both teams.
Alliance knows when you see March, don't go on him. It's a trap.
It's a fake out. So Gabby just wants the farm. I think everybody on TNC now wants to reset and farm. Alliance did a very good job. I really like their mid move. They have to take advantage of the fact that there aren't cooldowns. Even if you're a little bit behind and you know you're behind, you have to play around when you feel like you're strong.
I mean, with Gabby's current pace, he might be able to pick up his Aghanim Scepter around the start of the second nighttime. And that's going to be hugely impactful.
Yeah. I don't know if he'll quite get it.
Yeah, it'll have to be off of like bounty runes and maybe like 16 and a half minutes in.
I think he'll get it like probably like 16, 17 minutes. Yeah, I can see that. But he'll have his ulti in 3 seconds. I could see a situation where TNC might want to fight around this time.
Yeah.
I could see that being pretty good for them.
Fight for the bounty runes with the use of the Night Stalker ultimate. They've got all their abilities up right now.
Yeah, you should feel pretty confident at taking fights right now.
I said that, and then Gyrocopter used his ultimate to help farm some neutrals a little bit faster. That's the beauty of Gyrocopter.
I mean, Gyro's also going to hit a very good Axe timing.
Yeah.
TNC, they're pretty item and timing dependent. So this slower pace, I think, they prefer.
Yeah, this is where Limp needs to find a connection. He needs to find some sort of kill that leads into an opening.
You got to find some room for your team. Find a lane for 33 especially to play in right now.
Because you can't bring the Wraith King online. You just haven't given enough time yet. So
something I can't remember who said it, but they were like, when you get Radiance on your Wraith King, it means like you want to farm a little bit more. It doesn't mean automatically go time, because that's when your farm peaks the highest, is when you get that Radiance.
Yeah, with Midas and Radiance, and Wraith King does not have like this insane strength gain. You are very squishy.
Yeah, you're just there to farm some more. And then once you pick up like 2-3 items and you can get to the back line, that's when you want to participate in these engagements. But for the time being, you know, just farm away. Which means that Alliance will also have this like really sick timing too, so they shouldn't be too concerned either. I think last game, looking at the lineups, I was really glad I got to see a Mag Alk situation so that I could show you like, hey, this is what this looks like and why it's such an issue. But I think this game, they at least have a lineup that's much better and it can actually scale and their timings match up a lot better too. The only thing I'm a little bit concerned about is like 3-3's game has been slowed down just so much.
And he is going to have a hard time being impactful in some of these fights with the combination of this AoE control of the black hole and then also the AoE silence.
Yeah.
Like, there are a lot of situations where you're going to want to be able to throw an aphotic shield or something, and Night Stalker's just going to camp himself.
Oh, this should be a stun by Hanskin.
They're going to be able to get that with a follow-up silence being completed for 33. They're going to try and chase down this Legion Commander. He's still so tanky, and he still has the pipe.
All right.
You're not killing this bad boy.
This is a very good item against Alliance's team, which most of their damage being magical has...
Oh, what did I say? 16 and a half minutes in? Gabby has 1,400 gold.
Okay, sick.
So, Aghanim Scepter online for him.
Your timing was nearly perfect, sir.
Aghanim Scepter online for Armel and 90 gold, so they might as well wait for both of these items. I don't really see anything stopping them from fighting. Oh, Blink Dagger up and 400 gold for Tim's. Jeez, all these like crazy key items are all coming online for TNC about the same Same time.
Oh, they're smoked up here. They're going to get spotted. They're pinging like crazy, and Alliance's move has once again been shut down, but they do have the Radiance now, picked up by the Wraith King. His farm's going to go up quite a bit. Armel coming up here. He doesn't want them to just continue to farm. He's going to at least pop the ulti onto the Abaddon.
Just want to be able to keep him from retreating. They'll kill him after the borrowed time. If they hope, well, Gamdias going to come and get out of here. He's definitely dead. It looks like Hanskin's going to be fed on by the Night Stalker. They don't have a son to be able to save him. Now the Tombstone position as well to be able to slow down all these heroes. Bot is definitely dead. Looks like Nico Baby, he may be dying twice here. Limp's going to try and help him out. 33 with the buyback coming into this fight, but honestly, it looks like TNC, they've hit their timings, and they look like they're too strong. Sleight of fist after sleight of fist, but TNC don't slow down. They're going to be able to finish off Nico Baby. This is going to be a dieback for 33 as well. Limp is even going to be chased away. He's not going to be able to find a single kill. He sat there casting sleight of fist after sleight of fist, but nobody from TNC got low enough for him to commit.
Beefy boys. That's what they've got. Lots of beefy boys. And Tim's once again, just in case.
Just in case?
I'm not. Don't forget about Tim's. You're putting good old boy Tim's still in the running for MVP.
Hey, I have my blink dagger. I'm ready.
Got to get that air time, you know? Camera time.
I mean, I just love this, right? It's like TNC, they hit all their timing windows at once.
And they just go.
And KP said, I'm forcing this fight no matter what. Like, dueling an Abaddon doesn't feel good at the start, but you guaranteed you're getting a kill and forcing a fight. And silence onto the Ember Spirit. Oh, no. The AoE silence will wear out, though. Gabby. Oh, finished him off with the AoE void with the help of March as well. Now Hanskin's going to run over by the Tier 1 tower. And that is such a fast pace. We go through the replay, and right away we come back to TNC just killing fools.
And the nuke is here. Tims has finally decided to participate in this game. Gabby is just blocking him off so that he can set up for the duel. TNC is so good, and they are so fast at playing Dota. It happens in a hurry because Alliance, the game looks pretty okay. It's pretty peaceful, and then all of a sudden, in a hurry, they run at you. Look at that dip. It is sharp and precipitous. No breaks at all. Just straight down the line.
Plummets downward. Alliance are now in a big old hole. And they've got to find a way to climb their way out of it. That's going to be through Nico Baby's Wraith King. And he is currently in that Radiance Midas farming time that you're talking about. You can't do anything else.
No, the Radiance alone isn't enough to deter anybody.
We saw that from the last fight.
They chased him for about 40 seconds, and you would think, oh, well, what is Blitz talking about? Like, the Radiance is sick. It was burning them for like 40 seconds, and they didn't care.
Yeah. That was a long fight.
He got like 4 stuns off. He burned them for as long as he can. Like, that's the ideal situation for a Wraith King, and he still can't fight. So you just farm with this hero. You use this Radiance to get even more farmed. You speed up your farm progression until you have Blink Dagger, until you get other items. It's not like he has upgraded boots or anything like that. So his game pace is going to be a little bit slower than you expect. I mean, this guy just straight up rushed it as an item. So he needs a little bit of time. And this just comes down to the laning phase, I think, being so rough. 33 thinking he had to get into some like weird fights, whereas KP was able to just chill, farm, take his game bit by bit. I felt like KP wasn't pressured to do anything really in this game.
No.
Just play your laning phase out. And now a BKB, like the timings have just happened so quickly.
BKB for the Night Stalker, yeah, these are.
And these items that are coming in for Alliance, I don't feel like helps deal damage right now. Like the Maelstrom's nice, but you know, they have a pipe.
Yeah.
And they're all strength heroes that just sort of run at you, and they've got plenty of ways to disengage.
2700 HP on the Night Stalker, 2000 on the Gyrocopter with the Diffuser Blade, 2000 on the Legion Commander with a pipe and a Blade Mail now.
Yeah, like this item would have felt really good about 4 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Now it just kind of feels like you've got to get it because you need some sort of damage item that's cheap. That's the entire point of Ember. But you might just lose way too much on the map right now. If they lose that mid-tier 2 tower without even having to pop Knight, that's when you know like Alliance is like, we can't ever fight. And you're probably going to give a Broshan right after that.
TNC is going to back up only just to defend their tier 1 bottom lane. They're not going to give Alliance anything.
And look at this pickup by the Gyrocopter going for the Diffusal Blade. You're going to put even more pressure on the Wraith King. It makes it so hard for him to fight. And it's just really nice against the Ember too. Embers don't like playing against mana burn.
Yes.
That's why the Jug Diffusal Blade feels really good against this hero. You get like 4 hits off. This hero that entirely relies on mana to cast. You know, he's not like an auto attack kind of core.
Yeah. And when you're also like much stronger than the enemy, that Diffusal Blade can just mean 1 extra kill off of a team fight thanks to the inhibit.
Dude, TNC's so hype. Oh my god, these guys are so good at Dota.
Yeah, dude. I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel like these guys are like far and away. They're looking like the best team here.
Alliance is a good team. They just won Dream League. They did very reasonably well in their group.
Yeah.
They took a game off Vici.
Yeah.
I think they were like the only team to. And suddenly it seriously just looks like they are, you know, they're in like some sort of like warm-up game against like their C squad. They're like, just roll out of bed.
Yeah.
Play some dotes.
I mean, like... Is this such a dominant performance that I feel like I'm watching like a, you know, Team Secret in the middle of the DPC or like Virtus Pro like 2 seasons ago.
This is exciting. If you're a TNC fan, like, you know, I like a lot of the players on the team, but this is making me quite hype. I don't want to be biased or anything, but you can't help but like teams that play this way. They just kind of run at you.
I don't think we've ever talked about a team like this before. And that's just because that's the analysis. They just look that good. We're going to see them just march up into the high ground. Armel's going to focus on hitting the tier 3. They're getting
Guys, it's daytime.
They're diving way too far here.
It's still daytime. I'm not sure what you're doing, but this isn't even the peak of your strength.
You could wait 1 minute and 15 seconds, that's all. But they won this tier 3 real badly. The Fire Blast multicast. They are going to be able to get the duel coming out from the Legion Commander onto Hanskin, turning out some of that damage. Not quite enough to be able to win the duel, though. Hanskin eventually falls. The Black Hole! Black Hole! Tims! He's finally here! And he nails a 4-man Black Hole to be able to win the fight. Is Gabby going to be able to chase down 1 and 2? Ember Spirit, though, gets away from that silence. He does get some sleight of fist with the buybacks coming out from Alliance. Maybe they can win the second part of this fight, where they can chase down some heroes, but during nighttime, you can't really leave your base.
Oh, Tims, relax.
Don't forget.
They all forgot.
They all forgot. They all forgot. They forgot about Tims.
Oh my god, Tims he was just chilling for 2 games just to deliver that Black Hole.
Try harder.
Oh my lord. All right. They had to use 2 buybacks. The game isn't quite done or anything like that. But keep in mind, it was just daytime.
Yeah. Dude, that was actually just that was a little egregious, the fact that they just forced high ground during daytime. They could have waited a minute. They could have waited 30 seconds.
No, you don't
to
stop.
have the Night Stalker overlap of Dark Ascension into the nighttime.
Stop.
But the TNC train don't stop, baby. It just keeps going, keeps chugging.
And Alliance, I mean, they've got to be looking shell-shocked right now.
Yeah,
like. They haven't experienced this kind of series in this season yet. This is the first time where I really feel like in this season they've been just like challenged.
Yeah,
because they're seriously just getting the shit kicked out of them. And this isn't even the crazy part. Is like normally, you know, I like to say like, oh, maybe Alliance could have done this or that better, but like, I just want to give all the credit in the world right now to TNC.
Yeah,
because sometimes the team is just very good and they're playing really good Dota, and that's what you should appreciate.
They drafted a good situation, overplayed their lanes a little bit, and then just follow the formula of like, okay, we're strong enough to beat them now.
Look at Marsh. This was supposed to be a trap that Alliance set up, but TNC read it perfectly. KP was there with him, and the 2 heroes at bottom, they have a BKB core down there, so they feel safe, so not really giving any sort of opportunities up.
I want to point out the Blink Dagger picked up by Gabby. A lot of people wonder, like, why do you go Blink Dagger on Night Stalker? Like, aren't you really fast? But you want to get on top of these heroes from the start of your crippling fear, especially against somebody like this Ember Spirit.
Yeah,
and with the BKB, I don't think Ember can really survive.
Hanskin's just going to go down.
Easy pickoff.
Gabby's just going to blink in there very aggressively, does not care about the tower or all the creeps on top of him.
KP is...
Yo, quick gyro for me.
I mean, KP this is a little weird. Like, if you're TNC, just 5-man.
Just yeah.
You don't need to do anything.
He's feeling himself. That's the thing. He's definitely feeling himself.
He's goose stepping his way over to the tier 3 at bottom lane, where TNC are going to push in with the Siege Wagon and the Tombstone out.
Yeah, Armel doesn't have Satanic quite yet, so you've got to be careful. No Aegis or anything like that. They lose it in the previous engagement, and they don't have Black Hole. So
he's going to jump in with a crippling fear, immediately getting on top of that.
The call down on everybody.
The call down on all of these heroes with the duel on top of that. The Ember Spirit is immediately gone. He's going to buy back. Armel almost dying in this fight, though. Nico Baby with his BKB. He needs another hit. He gets the Ray Fire Blast, but the heal's coming out. They're trying to body block him. Another press the attack coming out, and now he's slowed down. Nico Baby.
Limp is going
He's not going to be able to get the kill. Limp can't quite get him with the sleight of fist. He's been stunned up. He's been silenced. He's not going to get him at all. Armel.
And the rocket flies the other way.
And now they're going to turn back and finish up the rest of Alliance without their gyrocopter because they don't need him. Gabby, he's actually going to run out of mana here, so his damage may run out, but not fast enough as they're going to be able to finish off at least the Wraith King, chasing away Hanskin, maybe turning back for 33. March, the captain, kind of needs some help here, but KP, he's just going to chase Hanskin away, and they're going to turn as a team back over to that Ben, who does manage to finish off March.
Yeah, but this is about as good as it gets, I think. 33, gonna have that ulti pop. They're gonna chase him every step of the way, get the duel, get a little bit of damage. There's no buyback on the Limp. I was just saying, maybe relax. You don't have Satanic or Aegis, and then all of a sudden, an instant duel. Gabby blinks in, gets a 5-man Void on top of the call down.
I mean, their initiation just happened all at once. They blinked in on the Legion Commander and the Night Stalker at the same time.
For a second, there was just a calm, everything was chill. They were just hitting, and all of a sudden, everybody rushes in at once. One mind Dota.
All right, well,
I mean,
one
Alliance
last
are making
hope
this
for Alliance.
This is such a short night. The combined game time at this point, it feels like it's been about an hour.
Yeah. They're gonna back up. All right, they're gonna play it a little chill. Deal with the shrine. I guess Roshan's up in 3 minutes, but you still have 2 minutes of nighttime.
Radiant's top shrine has fallen.
And you still have Black Hole.
Yeah,
Tim's
is here.
Tim's is
Guys,
still
remember, Tim's is still.
Don't forget about Tim.
Don't forget about. He can still get the MVP. He's like winking, you know. He's like, don't forget about your boy. They have 4 melee heroes and a Leshrac who thrives on being like close range. That is, Tim's is gonna get nice black holes.
Yeah.
It is just kind of inevitable.
Oh, they're gonna go. Limp's trying to do a little bit of split pushing, but KP, he's gonna get.
Oh, nice.
Jumps away. Spider senses tingling.
He probably recognized, like, oh, they're actually just chasing us around. Like, they don't really care about any of these objectives right now. March might pay for this. He's hanging around with Armel. Sentry Ward's gonna get dropped.
They force the heroes to bottom lane. They think maybe we can take control of this area. Maybe we can de-ward that cliff that is always gonna be warded, but no.
Kill the rocket. That's gold. Okay.
Not even that.
That's, you really need a BKB on this Ember Spirit. Once he gets nullified too, it's going to be like a mini Doom. When he gets on top of you with the blink and the silence, can't get away from that. That's going to make Limp's life even harder. Is they're going to make
He just got the 40 damage talent
the
too,
long
so
way.
this is going to be a big initiation. They're going to start off onto the Ogre. While there's Gabby going straight for that Ember Spirit every single
There's
time.
literally nothing
the
he can
mini
do.
Doom, Ember Spirit can do nothing. Limp is just dead, and he has no buyback. Nico Baby's going to lose his first life here. 33, going to be forced into a borrowed time soon. There's the black hole to make sure Nico Baby has no chance to be able to do anything in a second life, and that's just it. And it feels like it's been over for a solid 15 minutes. TNC. Clean, crisp, beautiful Dota coming out from
They
them.
did not even make it 30 minutes. What was the previous game? Did we... I don't even know if we hit that mark at that point.
I actually don't know.
My word. That is a team. They are so good right now.
Well, maybe Group B wasn't that bad at all, and TNC is just that good.
Whatever TNC does, I knew TNC was good because anything they did, everyone tried copying.
Yeah.
And TNC was like, well, like...
And TNC's like, oh, we've got... Oh, you thought that was cool. Wait till you try this. Wait till you try the Night Stalker.
Oh, look at that.
You guys think Alec is good?
The point down, they're saying KP, that's our man. And Tim's is in the background, just like, don't forget about me.
He shows up on Kevin.
And KP, look at this. And he's pointing at March and saying, no, March is the MVP. You got to appreciate it. They're just loving each other.
Yeah.
They can feel it. That jump at the end. It looks like Alliance are still in pretty good spirits.
It was their first test. There's nothing else you could do at that point but just laugh it off.
Say it happens, guys.
They've got a lower bracket to go through still, but TNC are going to be moving on to the upper bracket finals. What an exciting way to start ESL 1.
Fantastic start for TNC. Predator, who have guaranteed themselves a top 3 finish here already at ESL 1 Hamburg. They've made short work of that, haven't they? Alliance, however, as Cap rightly said, will have to make their way through the lower bracket, and we'll see them in action in the Barclaycard Arena over the next 3 days. That is it as far as today is concerned. It's wrapped up the group stage. We've moved into the upper bracket as well. We're going to wrap up this series and the day as a whole with Nahaz and Purge alongside gents. Another clinical display from TNC.
It was another dumpstering, and we're seeing a pattern here, and that's should give everybody a lot of confidence in TNC. It wasn't just their groups; it's that they're also showing up Alliance, and I'm just wondering who else are they going to take down? Can they keep going? Excited to see how far they get.
This is a team, Alan, that less than 7 days ago won a big title at Dream League against some good teams, good quality teams. I know it's early in the season, but my goodness, TNC just dumpstered them in 2 games here, and they made them look super ordinary. This is a championship-winning team from the weekend.
Yeah, it's early in the season, but TNC look like they're playing at least December Dota here in October. They just look 2 months ahead of everybody else in terms of their development and their coordination as a team. So many of the storylines we've been talking about are these teams developing and coming together. Well, this team, how much more coming together could they possibly have to do? And they've also looked like they've had the answer for all of these just meta OP things, these concepts that the other teams have been exploiting. First phase Void, no problem. Alchemist, Abaddon, he's unbeatable.
Don't forget Earthshaker Morph.
Earthshaker Morph. We'll use it and then we'll beat it. Yeah. Enigma, no other teams played it at the tournament. We're 3-0 with it.
And others like Carry Night Stalker, and he comes out with his first Ags fight, and you're just like, oh my god. They make all of their strategies look broken. And they've done it with a lot of different strats at this point, and that's like the perfect sign of an amazing team.
The 18-minute item timings. All of a sudden you get 2 Ags, they pop out the jungle, and they got 2 Ags on Night Stalker, and you get a Blink Dagger on Tim's, and it's like, we just lost the game.
It was beautiful. The Diffusal on Gyro was perfect this game, very reminiscent of Topson's Diffusal Gyro purchase. They're against both Abaddon, whose mana is important, Ember's mana is important. Mana is important on Wraith King in a big way. So it's just perfect itemization, quick items. They were able to save the Gyrocopter here as well. Just incredible play by them.
And then on top of that, they're all playing well individually. They're all playing well as a team, and the 3 that were originally there and the 2 that have played together before have come together in perfect harmony, and the drafts are really good as well. Yeah. There's not really any... Where are the cracks right now?
And the one more good benefit of them, in case you don't want to keep talking about it, but they got that fun factor. It's
they do. They are very chill, don't they?
What helped OG win 2 TIs. Yeah. They're having fun. They've got the 3 guys having a great time, but they're also highly skilled, pairing them with a little bit of cool, calm, and collected to create like an atmosphere that doesn't get too ahead of themselves, doesn't get too excited, because sometimes you do need to not get too amped up about, hey, we're winning. Oh, shoot, we overdove. Now the game is over. That's
I have to tell you, though, that secretly, actually not secretly at all, I am super excited to see how this team carries on improving over the next few months, and then maybe into next year, and then towards the... The sky's the limit for this team. It really is. I know we said that so many times in the past about TNC lineups, but this one really does feel like the real deal.
I just want to see the all we don't give an F final. I want to see Beast Coast and TNC play.
I'm the same. I already said that was my dream final here.
Amazing.
No offense to anyone else, but that was my dream final as well. I'm totally on board with you. Let's take a look at the bracket for you and show you exactly how things have panned out. We've only had the 1 game, of course, during today. Vici Gambit will be to come. TNC beating Alliance. Alliance will drop down. They will play the winners of Ninjas in Pajamas or Virtus Pro. I'm sure they'll be quite happy to play either of those 2 teams right now, both struggling a little bit, and Alliance have been in good form outside of that. The loser of Gambit and Vici, of course, will play Beast Coast. Obviously, not Wind and Rain, even though we like them, because obviously we have to have Beast Coast going through to make our dream final.
Absolutely.
It's true.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. All right, let's catch up with KP right now. He's had a fantastic tournament. He's with Sir Action Slacks.
Hey guys, here with KP after an incredible 2-0 on Alliance. Sir, you got to be feeling good after that one, right?
Yeah, feeling good.
All right, cool. So Alliance didn't really seem to put up much of a challenge for you. Most people thought that it was one of the strongest teams in the series, in the tournament. What'd you think about Alliance?
I think they just went prepared for us, I'd say. Yeah.
A little lacking on homework, or?
Maybe a bit.
So if Alliance isn't the team that has a chance of stopping you, who is? Who do you think has the best chance of putting you guys down in the lower bracket if it were to come? We're not saying it will.
I guess the two other upper bracket teams, Gambit, VG.
Yeah.
For now, I'd say Vici because we haven't played them yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you guys played against them before, just in practice or anything?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna say like how that went.
Oh, okay. We'll keep that on the DL. Well, sir, an incredible series. You guys dominated, and we hope to see if anyone can even come close to stopping this on fire team. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Jake, for all the interviews over the last 3 days. Of course, going to continue on inside the Barclaycard Arena as the teams and plans will move inside that from tomorrow. Congratulations to TNC Predator once more. They've guaranteed themselves a top 3 spot. Now, let's turn our attention as we wrap up today on the MVP by Mercedes-Benz. These are the current 3 that you guys have voted for most. Eurus, Tims, and Chris Luck. This was very similar to what we saw yesterday. I'm mildly surprised by that, gentlemen, because we've seen not that these 3 haven't played well. They have played. I think Tim's has been absolutely unbelievable, but there've also been some fantastic performances. Kevin, I know you've got a couple of players that you've really liked today.
Yeah, the Gambit players I think have been really good. I think that we're going to see some adjustments if they manage to beat Vici Gaming in the full BO3. They've already had a great game 1, so we could definitely see some adjustments. Yep. And as you know, towards the end of the tournament, the teams that are winning more and more and more end up getting more votes. So we'll have some changes before it's over.
And then obviously there's March to consider, just in terms of drafting. There's Gabby to consider, who's had some unbelievable matches on the Morphling and the Night Stalker in particular. I think you can bring out KP, who's also had a great tournament so far. There's lots out there.
I couldn't help but watch that interview and be like, KP is going to win a TI someday. Is what I was thinking.
I've thought that for 3 or 4 years now. The guy is just a very, very solid offlane player. He's creative. He's very stable. He's a good laner. I mean, he had a rough last season, and I think he knows that. And there were times last season when I don't think he was playing up to his potential, but he's great.
Look, I'm okay with that, except for one thing, right? That would mean there are 2 Australians that have won TI before a British player's played at TI.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with that, because Gods would just give me too much.
Yeah. You know. I went down the same train of thought. I was like, he'll wonder if he'll win a TI. And then I'll be like, oh, that's another Australian. And I was like, Gods is going to tweet about it. I went down the same mental path.
Definitely going to come out, isn't it? Thank you very much, gents. It's always a pleasure. We're done here as far as ESL 1 Hamburg is concerned for day number 3. Group stage is all wrapped up. We've moved inside the bracket as well. And tomorrow we'll be live from inside the Barclaycard Arena for ESL 1 Hamburg 2019. We'll see you then.